Dominator, what are we thinking here? I mean, Razor kind of sticks out a bit, but I don't know. It's 7.0, goddammit. Could be anything.
Yeah, it really could be a lot of things. Timbersaw, okay.
Alright
then. The Slayer of the Slaughter hero, Slayer of the Tusk hero. Good against illusions, usually. Not so good against Eclipse, but Luna's damage in like rather busy team fights is mostly physical because Eclipse often has a lot of targets, so and you can also pick up Hood and stuff like that on Timber. So, ooh.
A mildly spicy pick there. It's kind of like the cumin of this draft, I'll like to say. But unless Shrek comes out, I mean, if this was Complexity, I'd say nothing new, but alternate aTTaX whipping it out here as, I imagine being their mid laner. A good little throwback also to TI5. Tusk and Shrek here. Alternate are like, it's 7.0, let's just flip the page back a couple times. Let's work from that.
Yeah, let's see how Shrek fares up to the Ogre and the Dark, because I think this Ogre's going to pay a visit to a lot of squishy heroes, and I think Shrek tops that list. So I think this game is going to completely revolve around if Faceless Void has a good time, and if like the Slardar gets a lot, like the Slardar could die to Disruptor and Void when Void gets more levels. And the UI came in really late there. That was scary. I was like, what's happening? Alright.
Yeah, that was weird. I was kind of hoping we were going to get to see the Versus screen as well, but apparently in Captain's mode, we don't get that. Yeah. That's a shame, because I was getting ready to like, ladies and gentlemen, get hype, get ready. And
LeBron's going for the smoke ward play, starts boots first. Alright, he gets that one ward down for mid.
Alright, you know, I remember when I was like first peeking into some of the first competitive games of 7.0, and it was going to be interesting to see just kind of everyone waltzing around like, okay, where do the wards go now? What's a good ward spot now? Like, if I'm to TP right away and try to get down the best vision possible for my success in the laning phase, what ward spots are those? And are these the spots you think?
I noticed about this, I think, yeah, I think the mid ward is always going to be one that's kind of necessary. You've got this one, which, this ward, near the top bounty rune, it controls the entire way into this jungle. It also shows the hard camp. It allows controlling the bounty rune a lot easier. Like, wait, is this on the? It's on the same level as the bounty rune, right? This ward. So it sees people who are walking up to it and walking up to your small camp. So it allows protecting the pull rather easier, and it stops easy rotations. The thing about this patch is the map is constructed differently now.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more restrictive, I find. To go from A to B, like, you can't like go as the crow flies anymore, which you used to almost be able to do. It was...
Yeah, I felt like, you know, and it's funny because I was going to get ready to go into a thought, like, we're not going to see as much level 1 skirmishes without teams really taking a lot of risk. Like, even here, alternate, you know, just investing 2 into that top rune spot, but it looks like it's going to be split pretty even from both sides here. I mean, do you think we're going to be seeing a lot more level 1 skirmishes because of the new lane or the map positioning and where the runes are, or do you think we'll probably end up in kind of the similar position we were last time?
I think people play pretty safe. Like, obviously there's some things where you'll protect one rune for your mid usually. Sometimes you realize you have a weak like level 1, and you're against Luna SD, you're probably going to lose that rune fight. Slardar and Tusk probably have multiple stuns, so you're probably going to lose that rune fight as well. So you all play safe. And honestly, 100 gold isn't that much in any individual case, but losing like 3 of the bounty runes, it can make quite a bit of a difference. And LeBron is being Ogre.
Yeah, I mean, as expected, LeBron running around a bit, even bullying back the Tuskar quite a bit. And Tuskar, who I want to say is Ninja777, but that is not the case. He fools me with his Ninja. But now snowballing up, looking to go for Gogi here under the tower, and they will secure that first blood already for ATN. Swift ending, though, not having any of it, goes in with time leap, trying to get some peppering up, and will be able to get it done. They return fire, and even the score 1-1. Nice.
Yeah, of all the times to stun there, like, right as the stun came up, he bashed, so that's unfortunate for Slardar, man.
Yeah. So, convenient RNG there for Swift ending. We'll be able to at least get things right back their way, and with the core being able to snag up that extra bit of gold, it does favor them a bit. But there was the first blood bounty there for ATN, and Tuskar already making an early laning impression. Curious where he goes now. Try to head back towards the top lane, but it looks like the Ogre has made that committed shift, and he'll have to settle instead towards the mid lane here.
Yeah, this Leshrac is the most vulnerable, I think, and I think the Ogre really has to Stardo's already had a good enough start. He's got level 3 now, he's got 2 bounty runes or whatever now, and he's got guaranteed
Radiant's
waves
top
of
tower
experience,
is
so
under
he's
attack.
going to be comparable to the Void in terms of farm and XP for the first few minutes at least. And I think because the Ogre didn't start top, this Void is going to have a bit of a difficult time, and the Stardo's going to be basically guaranteed like a free and tranquil boots and be able to like take early fights.
Yeah.
But he did that to ensure that the Timbersaw didn't get zoned out early, so he got to the high levels of reactive, so Leshrac couldn't really be a kind of spooky hero, which he can be to heroes. And I think Timber can be included in that early on. So I think it's a reasonable decision for LeBron.
Uh-oh,
Void will run into
Tuskar.
SD.
They swarmed around him. They hit him with an early Thunder Strike. He gets the roll committed into the creep wave, and it will send them backing out. Obviously, it's too early on to have any sort of level, even into Glimpse for the Disruptor, so we'll just let that one slide. Tusk just continuing to try to be a little bit of a pain in the ass here for Elements Pro Gaming. Oh, I see they got the team logo working. I wasn't sure. I heard a lot of problems with some of the tickets, but it looks like the tickets are working, at least on this one. A shame, though, they haven't moved the KDA. I'm glad they got it in, so you don't have to hit Alt, but why there, dude?
It's just obstructing, yeah. Like, I would put it, like, there's so much space between the minimap and like the HUD. It's a bit...
It's a shame.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll find their
not a
way.
fan.
They'll
I'm
find
sure-
their way. It happens.
I'm one of the people that would prefer if it just went back to how it was, but that's probably a bit too much to ask. But yeah. So I'm just looking at bot now. Luna's starting to get a bit more pressured by Iron Shells as Darkseid hits level 5. Ogre's staying around now because the 2 level 5 Iron Shells is quite dangerous for a hero like SD because he can't really protect himself very easily. He can only disrupt one target after all.
Convenient bash here. Top lane, they're looking to go in and get Gogi once again. The snowball will be in there with the crush, but they may have committed a bit too far. Plus that kinetic field kind of locks him in a bit. Awkward position now as Nisha turns the corner, tries to slide himself through the trees, looks to go back in for another crush and some attacks here. Can they at least get the takedown of the Disruptor? They're going to go for it. Shards, not going to be enough. Gogi's able to turn around, get the auto attack, and get the kill. A hard committed dive by aTTaX in the top lane, and it will slap him on the wrist as he runs back out. But, oh, okay, that's nice.
He's still going.
Nice little bash right here. Swift ending. Just needs one more click or 10 more seconds to get her done, and it's not going to be necessary. The creep's going to help him out with that, pat him on the back, and it's going to be Faceless Void with the takedown. 3-1 going for Elements Pro Gaming.
Yeah, I felt the shards kind of worked against them there because what happened is the snowball opened up on top of the shards, so they had nowhere to go, so they ended up in their own shards, and they couldn't follow up on the Disruptor. And then it happened again where the shards kind of zoned them out from being able to do damage.
We got some
after
trouble
the
here
stun,
on our Shadow Demon. He's getting hustled down by LeBron, but suddenly he turns it around, and they're just going to pop off onto the Ogre easily with the Soul Catcher bonus, and everyone swarming in on the 3 versus 1. He didn't really stand a chance. Good block as well, coming out with those shards.
Yeah, that's rough. First actual like fight with the Ogre Darkseer, and you immediately feed a kill to Luna. Now you have to fight against Eclipse if she ever does get any mana. And Darkseer probably will try and extricate himself from the situation. And Cole is surrounded.
Yep. Mid lane, another Soul Catcher and Disruption combo going to be set up. Leshrac dishing out the pretty damage here, and it's going to be easily enough to take down the machine in the mid lane. Game now evened up as ATN will secure that kill and make it 3-3. Nice little start here to get them back on the grindstone because top lane was definitely looking a bit iffy for them, but they just abandoned that lane and they're looking for just some action across the board.
Yeah, so Void's going for Vlad, so if he wants to, they want to fight quite a bit early. He's not really going for like Lincolns or anything like that. He's not really trying to go for like the 15-20 minute mark. He actually wants to just fight with his first few Chronos, I think. Maybe when he hits level 11 or no, 12 now, he'll probably be a warrior. I'm just looking towards mid lane. I'm just wondering, like, how does this Timbersaw like actually enter fights now? Because there's not much for them to have to use disruption on. They can save it for him.
Uh-oh, bottom lane. They have found a Darkseer a little too far from home. Mitch, though, runs right through the creeps, hoping to soak up that Eclipse, but even though the Eclipse doesn't do a lot of work, they're still able to kind of get the job done. He's going to be taken apart. Elements are in the area here with Swift ending now, rushing on forward. That Chrono in his pocket, but he's not going to commit anything. And we'll just turn back in a way, a loss for Elements on that one.
Yeah, they have to really use Chrono or Disruptor to kill anyone. So they have to get Disruptor level 6, which they will be giving him the top lane for. Void will take the bot lane now that Eclipse is down. There's pretty much no way he can die. So I think I like the way the elements are controlling the lanes to get the most out that they possibly can, but it's just, will they be able to take enough fights before SD Luna just kind of runs rampant? I'm just slightly worried that they won't, because Timbersaw, he dies in a Leshrac combo with any kind of follow-up stun. There's always Slardar, Tusk. He can die to Leshrac with any of these heroes around, and it's not easy for him to actually go for kills because he's.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But he needs like a hood and all this stuff.
I mean, is there anything to say for the fact that just with where 7.0 is and how it seems like everyone is okay? Hold on here, a nice little convenient bash here onto your Shadow Demon in the bottom lane. Swift Ending going to commit forward, and with the help of the Ion Shell, they make easy work of the little support, and that's now a killing spree on your Void. So Faceless Void getting buffed, but the point I was going to be making was with 7.0 and the fact that it does take less XP overall to kind of get to your end game, and I don't know, especially as supports, the money's flooding in a lot more often and more in quantity. Heroes that normally would look scary because of how things are going in the early game, supports are still managing to make money somehow, or at least not lose as much money. So, I don't know, do you think comeback potential is just easier to come by with this patch?
Yeah, I don't think you end up in a situation where, like, you know, when you're really under farm support, like, and you see that there's a Luna with a Manta and a Helm with a Dom at 20 minutes or something, and she's just hitting your building, and you can't really stop her from taking Rex because you have like 1k HP and half a 2k gold item or something like that. You don't really end up in that situation, I think, anymore. But there's a smoke coming up from Elements, and they're gonna jump on the Luna.
Got that illusion though, easy by Swift Ending. Obviously, sarcasm there, as he will be swing and a miss on his first chrono, and I would bet your Bippy that ATN is going to try to do something as a response play. Knowing that chrono is going to be down, that is a huge loss to their team fight.
Leshrac is half HP though, so need to be careful.
Yeah, he's flirting around, maybe seeing if he can goat them into stretching past the tower a bit. He will eat the Ignite, and Elements just kind of only get to soften up the tower just a bit, and then they'll have to kind of peace out. So ATN, good illusion. I don't know. Unfortunate there for Elements. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board and farm a bit more.
I think that's pretty big though. Wasting the first chrono. I think they could have taken a fight and maybe chat like. I don't think they could really put towers in any danger at this point. But okay, so Sardar's level 8. He's got trying to work out where the gold thing is. He's getting pretty close to his dagger, only 400 away, or 500.
Close. And
the Disruptor is level 6 now, so they
he gets a glimpse back on the Tusk. It looks like they'll isolate and try to take him out. I was going to say if they were able to kind of get the Slardar involved, that would prolong his Blink Dagger a bit, but they'll just go for the easy pick there. And Tusk will pay the price, as Elements have already shifted away from that bottom to mid lane skirmish and have taken the business all the way to the top. But Luna down here hasn't even stepped away from bottom lane all game. Doesn't really need to. Now the pesky illusion battle begins to come out, and she will just work her way through this tier 1. And we're going to have to see if Elements are going to do anything as a response or not. Otherwise, this Luna could just fall up into a trouble.
Ogre's made his mark. He's defending the tier 1 tower or something. Yeah, they're just not going to go for that tower now that he's there, because
it's Ogre.
At any point Void could TP down and start bashing people. They actually don't have... ATN, they don't really have much to fight with other than catching people out at this point. Until Leshrac gets tanky enough to survive like a Timbersaw combo, or people can reliably last long enough in Chrono for an SD Disrupt to come out. I don't think they can really take many fights, because there's too many heroes running around with Iron Shell in the ideal situation for Dire.
Smoke play here from aTTaX.
What they have to do.
They're hoping to creep in. Swift Ending's nearby. He's got that leap though. If he spots him and leaps out, he's gone. I mean, he didn't really have to react too fast. Oh, he tried to go for a chrono drop, but we'll be able to get it there, right on the edge of the bubble. We'll be able to make the move, looking to get that Leshrac exotic deer. Committing out everything he can, but it's not going to be good enough. Swift Ending will grab that kill. They'll split it a piece, but it is the core Leshrac for the little support disruptor on this one. Oh wait, that's not core Leshrac. Oh no, it is. Rolling on forward now. Swift Ending in a bit of trouble as he gets crushed, but LeBron shows up, pops off with the Ignite, slows him down a bit. But now Shadow Demon rolls in, gets off the disruption. The Shard blocks him in. It's a 3v2 classic, but Ogre's so big, he's trying to club him back. Now Timbersaw shows up, and he's going to look to be the janitor on this one. Can he get the cleanup? Gets the Tusk down, and, well, everyone else heads to the hills here to make it back away. Nisha, though, caught near this side shop, will be able to blink and leapfrog his way out to safety. That could have been very hairy for aTTaX, but they'll just take the one nab and walk away.
Yeah, I think if Void realized that this Sada was completely out of mana at that point, he would not have jumped back into the tier 1, and then he could have maybe fought with the Ogre, and that would have worked out.
Oh no, Lesh. Lesh just got back! And Lesh is dead again. Easily make the move in between the Darkseer and the Ogre, and he goes down. He's got no life. Very weak. Poor goat.
Yeah, this is the nightmare scenario where your cores are still really squishy. You've just got your dagger, but you had to show it in order to escape. So you're not really able to take fights as you want right now. There's the Darkseer who's getting closer and closer to mech. He's actually only 100 gold away, and he'll have it with his creep wave.
Ooh, rolling on in. Stun on for Mitch. Static Storm, vacuum turnaround though. Look at the Team Wombo combo come out. His elements are going to be able to quickly shred through aTTaX. Faye shows up to play, but now shows up to die as they just glimpse her right back into the action and go for a 4-man takedown. They'll get her done.
And, the Darkseer didn't end up dying in the end. Everyone else did.
Everyone. Hey, he didn't crash the game either. I will say that. So that is also a big positive on this one. Tier 1 goes down. Exotic Deer flirting around a bit. Did he go too close to trouble? It looks like he played with fire and, well, might have just gotten burned. Disruption tries to keep him alive, but the Chakram has been waiting and will shred him apart. 13-6 elements really opening up as we begin to segue into the mid game.
Yeah, so everything's kind of worked out now. Void is well on his way to Manta Stars, checking if there's a bounty rune there, but they're just going to have a lot of heroes with a lot of farm. Like Darkseer's going to have mech and the mana boots, and Timber's going to get his bloodstone at some point, I assume, or he could go for Hood or something similar. But they're just going to get a lot of items up, and I think ATM, they need to take a they need to take a good fight, and they need to be able to push with SD to the point where Stardark can like remain hidden, and they can wait to counter initiate with him, because honestly, the counter initiation on elements is just way stronger with the disruptor and the run, all that kind of stuff.
Shadow Demon plants a ward. It was just in the back end of this smoke movement, but they're already far forward, looking to go for Faye. They get the glimpse pullback. Luna was just brought down in the mid lane, and it looks like they'll bring her down again. 2 ultimates committed to get that one done, but they will also get the takedown of the Tusk, as he was just trying to teleport in to assist his milady and in love, Luna. Not going to be good enough, though. 2-for-0 trade. Good smoke movement comes out. Elements on a fire at this point in the game, and
Timber. Be careful.
They could get Timber.
Got the Hood,
but yeah, he's got Hood. He is tanky. Barely seems to make too much of a mark on him. Swift Ending has now rotated over, but second guesses his commitments in. Tries to step over, runs into Shadow Demon, now gets crushed, and they will be able to bring him down. Swift Ending, got to get dropped on this one. Timber looking to get back in on the action, and realizes he's a bit short on mana. He's got to get purged up. Mitch shows up to play now, gets the one vacuum, the one wall, and we'll be able to at least Iron Shell run down the Shadow Demon. Glimpse, pull back. It's going to be for the Slardar. Nice 2-for play there for Elements. Looks like it was going to be their first awkward trade losing Swift Ending, but they grab a couple more and continue to etch themselves just barely ahead here. We'll take an early look at the net worth. And it's been plateauing a bit at just about 6k of a net worth advantage for Elements. Same goes for XP too.
I don't even know the hotkey to open the net worth thing now.
It happened to be the same. The graph looks very different though, I'll tell you what. It's like in night mode now.
Alright, so this is the point where if you're raiding, you start going, can we just avoid fights for a bit? We need to get Luna to have items, maybe get Dragonlance, and then we take fights on our own terms. Because all Dire want to do is fight. They've got Darkseer, they've got Void, they've got Chrono coming up in a minute now. They've got Timbersaw who can't die. They've got an Ogre who's willing to... He's got his own Hood as well. Like, they've just got 2 heroes that want to run in the front and just do whatever.
Yeah.
And there's not enough damage on Radiant side in order to kill 1 or 2, let alone 5. So, team fighting is not high on the priority list for them right now.
No, definitely
They can do, like, slightly stray smoke ganks, which you saw just earlier, but I think that's the limit of what they'll do. And I think they're running low on smokes, but I don't know how to check in the current system.
No, I think... Okay, looks like if I open the shop, which we will hold off because there is a fight breaking out mid lane. Commitment of the Static Storm, but the Snowball does get off. But as he comes back, they're going to be looking to burst him apart right here. Disruption is going to be committed here, trying to shave out the Leshreck, but it's not going to help. Then the Chrono follow-up catches the remaining 3 here. Beautiful setup from Swift Ending. Can they destruct him apart and make it a 5-man wipe? It turnaround play here from aTTaX is going to be able to fend them off a bit, and Cole's going to have to turn all the way and run out on the Timber Saw. 2-for-2 trade. And look at the fight recap. Still going to be an advantage for aTTaX on this one.
Yep, Luna surviving and getting kills there is pretty important. Well, getting at least a kill. Luna needs to really just attain more net worth somehow. Get to the Manta style, get to the BKB probably at some point, and then just be able to provide enough damage that Void is not comfortable just playing with his Time War cooldown in front of her. Because once Void is in that situation where he can just go in and out as he wants to and deal as much damage and go on whoever he likes, that's the point where supports need to start being very careful, you need to start playing very defensive with your positioning, and that's not exactly how you want to be playing against a lineup like this. And he's getting closer and closer. He's got Yasha. His farm really did slow down compared to how he was doing in the early stages because of they'd be looking for fights and he's been waiting to use Chrono and all that kind of stuff. But he will get items at some point. He will get his Manta style and he will be slightly more tricky to deal with. But there's no like big item on the side of Dire that's really going to change things. So this is just how things are going to be, and it's up to Radiant to really choose if they want to expose themselves to this horrible team fight that's going to happen to them if they choose to fight.
Slaughter, our man on a mission here, going and scouting what's happening here behind Elements, but Elements are already making their shift down this mid lane. They have some pretty deep wards planted, so they're looking to have a heavy commitment here moving forward and just kind of dominating the majority of the Radiant side, it would appear. I mean, just look at all these ridiculous wards here. 4 all spread through the southern half of this map. So Radiant looking to reside together up and above, but their farm could be stinted for now, as it's going to be left to pretty much Lesh and the Luna to kind of clear these lanes, push them back, and kind of bulk up a bit further. Killing opportunities just are going to be nulled because, as you were talking about before, the team fight here from aTTaX just isn't as prominent, so I don't know if they're going to be just looking for...
Well, we are heading into the point where the single target damage on Dire becomes less apparent. Like, they've got Iron Shells, so they need heroes to be on top of the targets on the Chronosphere. They need to have the Chakram open at all times, so they've kind of... If Luna gets really, really big, they're going to have trouble actually killing her once she does get up to like the Manta, and the disruption is safe for her, and like focusing her is going to get pretty difficult. And I think this is going to get more and more difficult, and it becomes easier and easier for Radiant to avoid fights, because you see here Tusk can push up bot without any resurgence from Dire. Like, they're not going to suddenly decide to run all their heroes down bot in order to stop them farming this area, because they're happy farming their own jungle. And I think this game is going to stall for a few minutes, and then I think once they get the Manta, and once Prada maybe gets a 4-stuff or something, he's gone for Midas in order to secure his late game, but once that kind of stuff happens, I think you'll maybe see another set of smokes coming out, and they'll probably want to pick off the... I think they want to find either the Void or the Disruptor to start fights off, because that's their main control.
Nisha
until
here.
Then, yeah.
Very deep scouting it out. But that's all it's been, because as you mentioned, it's been a bit of a grind right now. It's part of the game where I'm gonna jump around and see if everyone actually leveled their talent, Rhyme, because you know
that's a thing. I forgot that
existed. Thing. So you know, if you forgot, it looks like everyone's been pretty good about leveling it. Luna here's got 2, opting to go both into the health and the damage side of things, not looking to go into any sort of extra Lucent Beam damage. Did anyone forget? That's the thing.
Oh, that's the thing.
And it looks like everyone remembered. I mean, they might have forgotten at level 10 and then maybe remembered at 11 or 12, but for now it looks like everyone's got...
Tusk? Tusk is not. Tusk is level 10, he doesn't have a talent.
Uh-oh!
That's 20% XP gain that he's not getting.
I'm pretty positive that you always get the talent at 10 for pretty much every hero, right? Is there any case where you think you go for the spell? I had it on Queen of Pain where you choose between like 20 damage or like halving your blink cooldown. If you're doing like Shadow Strike and Max Scream and things like that. That's one situation I noticed it. And I'm sure there are other heroes where the 4th point is very, very high value. But for the most part, I think, yeah, the talents are much stronger than single ability points are. Alright, well... I'm sure Tusk will find his way here soon enough, as the rest of his team are thinking about going in for Roche, but this is the thing. Remember the updates and changes to Roche here in 7.0. It's actually tougher for physical heroes like these to do Roche now. His armor has been buffed up And obviously his magic resistance, I think, was either tweaked down or kept the same. So they're just kind of saying, hey, we want more spell casting to happen here. But this is a lot tougher now for your classic Slaughter. But look who showed up to place with Ending. He's just going to drop a chrono right on everyone. There goes the wall. There goes the vacuum. And all chaos breaks out as the Eclipse will be there to follow up. No one to fall yet, but then it all breaks apart as quickly two hit the deck. And it's going to be Elements Pro Gaming standing tall at the end. They will lose their Timber, but he will soon come back with the shorter duration of that Bloodstone. The chase is on now, looking to go for the Slaughter Dart here. They'll get the bash, the Ion Shell damage, too good, and they'll get her done. 3 go down, and it's going to be Elements who pick up the rest of this Roche kill.
Yeah, that was... I don't want to say worst case scenario, but I think it was. Like, they use everything to burst the Timber, and they deal all this AoE damage. They use their Eclipse, they use the Leshrac damage, and then they finally kill the Timber. And then everyone else is on like 200, 300 health, and then he dies, Bloodstone heals everybody, and then there's just no more damage.
Disruption Soul Catcher on a aggressive Swift Ending. He still wants to fight it on up though. Even with the power of the Lesh, it's not going to be good enough. Tuss is going to be committed in for a roll far from home, but he's got that Blink Dagger, and he will quickly step back and away here. But then gets glimpsed right back into trouble. Manages to get off the uppercut, but then will soon fall. The bright side is that he did level his talent at 11 though, so... He's got 20% XP gain going his way, Rhyme. Nonetheless, though, the game overall doesn't seem to be going as well. His Elements are moving forward for a Tier 2.
Yeah, I think spending that time lowering the Roche and then basically giving Elements a free fight and a Roche is gonna come back to haunt them. Like, they lowered the Bloodstone charges a bit, but that's all they really got out of that. And now Void will... Yeah, he's got Mjolnir in his... Oh, you can actually see the quickfire people now. That's good.
Oh.
So, yeah, he's got the Mjolnir coming up pretty soon. He's going to have the Maelstrom, I don't know, after this tower or for a creep wave or something, but that's coming up fairly soon. Darks has now got his dagger, so they're going to play more aggressive with Vacuum. And all in all, defending this tower looks like a terrifying prospect. I would not want to go anywhere near that.
4 seconds, and we got a chrono to play once again. So, the team fight was already a problem before, and it looks like it can continue to be a problem, especially if anything is done here in the mid lane, but... We'll see what ATN think. Maybe in their minds, they're like, it might be do or die soon enough. Just with how this game can accelerate. Once these heroes start peaking out and start getting to that level 20 and 25 period, they start really ramping up in potential. Those level 25 talents on some of these heroes is just ridiculous almost. Who do you think has the best level 25 talent in the game?
Best level 25 talent? There's some which are a bit silly. Like, I'm trying to think now. In this game, I think Void's is pretty good. The time walk cast range is absolutely insane. He's also got like 20% evasion on a talent, which is like you force MKBs with just no items. That's pretty good. I'm not sure which is the strongest in the game. I don't know all of them. Oh, I do know with Quap's level 25 talent, if you buy Blade Mail or Nocturne Core, you cease to take damage if you pop Blade Mail because of the spell Lifesteal. That is a very cool
I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that too. That is
I enjoyed doing that in one of my games earlier. It was very fun.
You've seen a lot of people also take advantage of the Ember chain reduction and getting Octarine Core with it.
That one just looks cruel.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that. I might do, but it looks fun to be the Ember.
So this is a new part of the game, of course. Once you get all those tier 2s down, you can then head back for those shrines and quickly take them down. And it's important to make sure you get those things taken out. I mean, it's obvious that they're an extra resource for the opposing team to kind of take advantage of, but if you happen to forget it and you're making a committed push like the bottom lane, let's say, they could still TP in from behind and do some crazy-ass smoke wraparound play from there. So it's just something that they put attention to, and it's just part of the game now, Ryan. We're going to have to accept it.
Luna becomes, well, draws closer to the BKB, and at that point she is still liable to get bashed by Void, but for the most part she becomes untouchable for most of Dire heroes, so... But it's all about, can they do stuff in that 10-second BKB time? Like, is that BKB going to make enough difference? Will her entire team die during that BKB time? You see Lash is also going for it, so... They're going to get their they're going to have both their BKBs up in the next, like, 4 minutes or so. Luna will have it right now, but Leshrac is still a bit off. And the... Oh, shrines are dying everywhere.
Get those shrines. Yep, this is, hands over a little bit of gold, I want to say, like 150 or something. Let me see if it shows it here. 150. Alright. It's not bad. For 150 for everyone to grab up. No more outer towers whatsoever here for aTTaX. No more out there to TP2 or get a little bit of a bonus from. They are going to be stuck indoors, it would appear. Scrapping together what remnants of a BKB they got, which obviously we see some of them in pocket now.
No, it's not too bad. Like, they're okay sitting in base. As long as they can get to the occasional creep wave and they get their BKBs up, then the only thing they have to watch out for is like a chrono out of nowhere. But if they stay split, like, they can push out with supports fairly safely. Because elements, they don't really fight too well when they're not like 3 or 4 or more. And in these small engagements, like Slardar is a lot more effective. Like, the amp damage becomes... Actually, it's not amp damage, it's a corrosive haze. That becomes more of a factor in focusing people down. I don't know why
what?
His bash is now Bash of the Deep.
Wait, what? Wait, did that just change?
Yeah, they changed that, yeah.
I did not know. I knew they reskinned him, but corrosive haze?
Yeah, they changed all the stuff about him. Like,
Bash of the Deep?
Guardian Sprint. Like, they kept Slithering Crush because that was, like, fishy enough, but they need to make everything else a bit more, like, Slardar themed. So, instead of just Bash and Amplify Damage, they've got Bash of the Deep and Corrosive Haze and... he's a bit more themed now.
Bash of Deeps.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
I find it quite silly, but... well, Valve can do what they like.
Very funny.
Now you've got Radiant just kind of hiding up on this top lane, waiting for maybe someone to push it out. They don't know where Dire are right now, they're playing very scared. Slardar remains the only one lonely in the base, surrounded by Quelling Blades and branches thrown around. Void, oh, he's got an Invis Rune.
Alright,
like
jump in, just goes straight for the Luna, gets her with a Chrono, and with everyone else's damage stacking on top of it, she will be taken out, Rhyme, and that's 70 seconds without a Luna. Swift Ending doubles back, looking to go here for the Slardar, who gets the crush it on the back lines. Back into his BKB, running back out, but they get the glimpse to pull him back in. They drop the wall back behind the racks right now. Tusk is going to be rolling on in and trying to make it back and away, but they come in with a Static Storm way back in behind. They're looking to just end the game here and now. aTTaX up against the ropes here and can't even make it back inside the fountain. 2 go down. Lesh also gone. None of them have a buyback here. Poor little Tusk can't even make it back inside. That was his dieback. And suddenly, this game could be near over. Elements.
Yep.
They do it. All right. Without even getting the racks down. They'll get it down now, but they're already going to call the game, and we're going to be going into a game number 2.
Yeah, that was rather quick. So what happened there is SD made disruption illusions of the Luna on top lane in order to push that lane out, and then Luna TP'd bot and SD TP'd with her. But the Chrono went out, and it's just like, I have a 4-second cooldown on my disruption. Luna, you're going to die. So then Ted took a BKB out of the window, and then base is dead. So all in all, I think they just fought way too much. They let themselves get caught, they overextended, their smokes got predicted quite easily, and they lost control of the map very early on. And I think the early excursions like the Slardar and the Tusk, that kind of cost them, because Disruptor basically got a free lane top, and then he got his ulti very quickly, and Void could stay bot without any threat of him dying. So I think with the way that Leshrac kept dying early on, they couldn't really use him to push towers, and they couldn't really play for objectives as much as they'd like to.
Yeah.
And I think in the next game, they couldn't really play to their draft strengths because of how the lanes and the early skirmishes went.
Yeah, no early skirmishes were had. I mean, you can even see it there in the score. Poor Tusk here. Ninja. I don't even want to try to say that one again, but 0 and 10 from him. With things not able to kind of start out at the pace they were hoping for, it seems like it was Element's game to take, and ever since that mid-game period, it was theirs. So with that, we'll go to a bit of a reset and get prepped and ready for game number 2. I'm Kalo Guy, I'm joined by Rhyme, and we'll see you in a few minutes for game number 2 of Dota Pit's European Qualifier action. Take care.
gaming bets. Online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans.
Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match.
Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Dota Pit League Season 5 European Qualifier. We have just one more spot open to head out to the Croatia land, and one of these European teams, one of these 4 European teams, is going to claim it. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look at the standings here for anyone who's just filing on in. We are starting our lower bracket match between Alternate versus Elements Pro Gaming. The winner of this will move on to face up against Alliance. That is our next series today. Alliance were dropped down by OG yesterday, so OG is waiting in the finals for the winner of our second series today. So, with that said, I'm Kyle Guy, and I'm going to be joined again by Rhyme Dota remotely. Welcome back, Rhyme. We're going to be getting into game number 2 here. And I notice again that we'll be witnessing a ban of the Mighty Pit Lord here. Why is that? I mean, he's just got introduced into Captain's mode. They're only focusing him, not Arc Warden. Is the hero really that good? Is it just because Arc Warden requires a specialist? Like, why does this hero get a ban and the other one not?
Well, Arc Warden had to pay the tax to get into Captain's mode. He got changed quite a bit. His ulti got nerfed. A lot of his stuff, like the spirit thingy that gives vision, and that is like a techies thing, that got nerfed, I think. But Pit Lords, they changed his Pit of Malice, I think it's called, which now, instead of having just the one-time BKB piercing, damage dealing, disable that it used to be, now it's just a pit that will repeatedly root people, I think it is. And it goes off every 3.5 seconds or something like that. Or, I can't remember if that's the duration or something like that. I need to research that, but it now is like an area control kind of thing, and it is much better for teamfights than it used to be, but it's not quite so good against BKB. So I think I'm not sure how he is compared to his pre-change edition, but I think teams aren't willing to play against him right now because they just don't know how it works.
Yeah, I've only seen him in like one competitive Chinese game, and there were roots galore. I didn't really know the exact changes, but it definitely seemed like a pretty potent team fight kind of a hero, so still earns the respect ban. Team Alternate aTTaX, though, finding value still in going for the first pick Bat Rider here in kind of an early meta where we don't really know the significance of where the strongest lanes are and who's going to find the farm where. I still feel that Bat Rider is the pick to go to now. Ryan, we have to remember the jungle, it's been changed a little bit as far as like the start. Like, it seems like you got to do like a double stack pull kind of a thing, but can you still fall back and be like a jungling kind of a hero? Let's say if the Bat Rider is off lane and has a bad off lane experience, can you still fall back and work with the jungle like you used to, or is that like not a part of the game anymore?
I think it is it's still part of the game, but it's not quite so reliable. I think there aren't that many camps that you can easily go between and that you can pull together. So remember what you used to be able to do is the medium camp or the hard camp in Dire Jungle, you used to be able to like eat the trees and then pull them together quite easily with Firefly. You could take like 2 stacks at once, which was quite a cool thing you could do. There are still camps close enough together that you can do that on Dire side. I think it's still a hard medium, but obviously they only spawn on the odd minutes. So there's a lot less farm to be had. I think you're more likely to be going for bounty runes. You probably pick up a bottle like Tranquil Beach bottle. That's probably a thing they're going to go for. I still think that early picking a Bat Rider like this, it makes drafting a lot easier because there's not in a draft where you have Bat Rider as your kind of going hero that goes on things. You don't necessarily want to pick the other heroes very early on. So I still think it's reasonable. I'm not sure how he fares. If his lane doesn't go too well, they're probably going to make sure he has a pretty decent lane because an underfarm Bat Rider does have a lot of trouble against Nyx.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is, the Nyx is looking like a fabulous pick. Obviously, a go-to grab against the Bat Rider. So it leaves me a bit surprised that they didn't opt to ban the Nyx, but I guess they just found more fear in the Darkseer game once again. So they'll be put in a situation where the Nyx is not only going to be a great counter against the Bat Rider, he's good to kind of spot things out for the Wisp as well, to be able to kind of make some setup plays into the mid-game period. Alternate aTTaX, though, grab up the Warlock here, so if they want to build on even more ridiculous team fight, it could cause some utter destruction here. But, I don't know. Then again, I want to see just some more new things. I want to see some more taking advantage of 7.0. I want to see some
Yeah, new
supports
things are
who are
scary,
supports
though.
and become, you know, cores now.
I want to see Spirit
Radiant
Breaker.
team picked.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite level 25 talents actually. He just either you become a literal race car,
Yeah.
and then the taxi service gets upgraded, like almost the speed almost doubles, I think, or you make the other
10
team very, very
seconds
angry.
remaining.
What is it, a Bash Lord? He becomes a Bash Lord at that point, right?
Best chance gets doubled.
5
So
seconds remaining.
yeah,
That's ridiculous. Yeah.
you get any kind of attack speed, and someone on the enemy team is going to have a very bad day.
Reserve time.
I want to
It's
see
nice
it.
to think about, isn't it?
It is.
But we're probably not going to see it in this game because Nyx kind of fulfills the same kind of role.
Very true.
Although
Very
there
true.
is a whisper, like I wouldn't pick it with Warlock though. It's kind of like hard to. But
What about
I'm just
Tiny
gonna-
though? I mean, Tiny Wisp is like what used to be the common
the go-to, yeah.
peanut butter and
Um,
jelly, but Tiny's been, I want to say, buffed a bit, or he's got a mighty good late game. I guess we'll find out. So there he is.
Dire team.
Yeah, they did change his Craggy now, so you know when you're a ranged hero and you end up in the fight, like say you're a Lunar or a Morphling, right?
Uh-huh.
And you have to fight this big scary tiny man, right? And then
Mirana.
you know you have to stay a certain distance away, otherwise you're gonna get Craggied. That's no longer a
Radiant
problem.
team picked.
But in terms of the melee heroes, they have to deal with that a lot more because Craggy is just a better skill in general for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The chance to stun went up. The stun duration now is a 2-second stun at max rank. The armor got buffed as well. So
10
yeah,
seconds
he's just
remaining.
I think he's just a better hero than he used to be, and he's much better against melee cores. But
5 seconds remaining.
Well, I like the
by
adjustment
picking
though.
Podham at this point, I think they're giving the Wisp Tiny a pretty easy
Reserve
lane, and I
time.
think that's a dangerous thing to do.
10 seconds.
It's all going to
remaining.
be. I think this game's going to depend on how much the. Okay.
Oh, I hope that's
Dire team
I hope
pick.
that's like a 4-position Chaos Knight.
Might not be. You could just have lots of big, strong melee heroes that will run at higher.
I mean, those
but I
are
was
two
just-
of the best Wisp pairings in the game.
10 seconds.
Everyone
remaining.
already knows, obviously, or if you don't already know, Chaos Knight has that new
5
Agnum's
seconds
upgrade in
remaining.
7.0 when you can pretty much Manta anyone else on your team. I mean, I already thinking about that with
Reserve
Tiny seems
time.
pretty sexy, but I don't know. It is a lot of melee bruisers here. Alternate attacks, I don't know if they have room in their lineup for the likes of a Timbersaw, but he looks like he would have a pretty fun time this game. Wisp, Tiny, and Chaos Knight. But
Yeah, I was thinking Timber as well, but the bottom probably indicates that they want to have bottom mid and then just have Warlock kind of secure their safe lane. Because what aTTaX usually do, or they used to do, quite a lot, is they were trying to make their safe lane completely unassailable, and they would have one hero which definitely had a lot of farm, and then they would run around with that hero, and then they take objectives. And this is another example of that. They pick
Radiant
Lynx, which
team ban.
you want to offlane against that, then you get to offlane against Searing Arrows, and then you're going to have a wonderful time.
another fellow archer here could be a little squishy if caught on the bad side of a gank or a team fight, but as you mentioned, could definitely make an impact
10
in the laning
seconds
phase as far
remaining.
as just being a serious bully with those searing arrows. I don't even know yet
5
who's
seconds remaining.
slated to be in that off lane right now, but at least they have potential to kind of see what it is
Reserve
they're going to be
time.
going up against.
5
and,
seconds
just having, like,
remaining.
I don't know. I haven't seen too much off lane Clink since like Funnick when he was,
Dire team ban.
I don't know if he was still on Navi at that point or.
That was the point where you could still go Tranquil Boots, and Tranquil Boots into Orchid was the thing on Clinks back then.
Yeah,
That was. Yeah. That was.
they could be rusty
When he-
against it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
But I'm
10
almost
seconds
absolutely sure they're going to
remaining.
give this Clinks the safe lane farm, and they're going to try and get him level
5 seconds remaining.
whatever is good now. And he's going to run around with Death Pact,
Reserve
and he's
time.
going to kill the Wisp very, very quickly, and then he's going to be very good at killing the Tiny, because Tiny's he's one of the squishier heroes in the game. People don't think it, he's got great exterior, he's a big amount of rock, but
Yeah.
Tiny's main problem in a lot of games is that he's just a very squishy hero, and
Mm-hmm.
you get the blink, you get the Shadow Blade, you kill one person, you get out, you go back in again, because Tiny just, until he gets a whole assortment of items, he's just not really good at man fighting for the longest period of time.
I wanted to look up here to see exactly what. I knew there was a Clinks change in 7.0 as well, but it looked like, yeah, Death Pack cooldown rescaled a bit, aka brought down a bit. Does still start with 45 seconds, but 35. From 35 now is 30, and what was 25 at 3 is now 15. So every 15 seconds at level 3, he'll be able to partake in a Death Pact
Doesn't
here.
stack, does it?
Team pick.
No way it stacks.
No, I don't know. I want to say no, but it's Dota.
Yeah,
and
like,
I don't know if it's something
I
they've
have no
double
idea.
checked.
I'm pretty sure that doesn't stack. Like, there's no way that stacks, right? Because otherwise you just have Clinks running around with like 4,000 health hitting like trucks.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
we just all have to bow down to Clinks ascending into the heavens, and that's a Venomancer.
That's a probably. Do you think it's Jungle Venomancer? Because I want to say the new Jungle Venomancer is even better on this new map than it was in the old one. At least from the brief pubbage I saw with my terrible level of pubbage, people were
I
going
haven't seen it in
crazy
my
with it.
pubs.
They were just like taking, because the 3 stacks of creeps are like closer together that you could just plant the wards in the middle, and they just keep getting drawn in, and you just easily shred them apart. Let me see, like. Right over here, like you got 3 camps, they would just plop down all the wards right here in the middle, up here on this side. You can put it.
Camp on the hard camp.
Yeah, same thing up over here too, right in the middle. You can just bring all the creeps together and just plop down wards. And man, Venomancer's level 25 is also pretty damn ridiculous. 3 times Plague Ward HP and damage. You know,
Just can't get rid of them. Like, there is literally no hero in the game that does enough damage and has enough attack speed that it's viable to stop and kill a Plague Ward that comes up every 5 seconds.
No joke, I played a pub last night with a 4 stack, and our one pub was a Venomancer, never said a word, just went into the jungle with an Iron Talon. We held our own in the laning phase, but eventually went into a Midas, and then went into an Octarine Core, and an Agnes, and just, yeah, they couldn't stop the wards. It was pretty damn
30
ridiculous, so...
seconds to battle.
I don't know if they'll be blessed with the same kind of opportunity or not, but we are underway here as it's
Swift
aTTaX
ending in
versus
danger,
Elements
maybe.
here. Yeah, Swift ending here. Running into
Button
some
this.
trouble. Got to get flanked now, but without stuns, they have no way to kind of stop the little beetle from making it away.
So Mitch will claim the top bounty rune, and Guy will claim the 2 on the right hand side. So
The battle
Gogi is the
begins.
roaming CK.
Ah, a little bit of that fluff and stuff action. I like that.
CK, have you seen this stuff now? Reality of Pierce is spell immune, so you can pull people in without BKB, or through their BKBs. His Ags, I think now, his Ags makes the illusions of other people.
Yeah.
So you can just have loads of really big tinies running around.
I want to say that's the plan. You know, that they're trying to flex off a little bit of their 7.0 science here. And I hope it works out for him. We'll have to see.
Right, so support Batrider, support Warlock, and it's going to be Venomancer being annoying middle, and he's going to get ran at, but is he going to get caught with the Avalanche? I think they could have blocked him there.
They need a bit more. Can they get it? One more right click would do it, but Gogi's not liking the tower damage he's taking. They're going to share the aggro and just go for the deny. But LeBron not going to be so fortunate, or will he? Tether's closer, but yeah, and he gets denied too. Very nicely done there. But I mean, they do lose 2 heroes right in front of the Veno, but they almost get him down. Exotic Deer barely able to slither away from that one. The stun toss was not enough. He almost has mana for another toss, but looks like it's not going to happen. A lot of bloodshed, but no kills rewarded.
Yeah, so that's a bit... Batrider could just try and get a kill here.
Hold on, I got to get this thing fixed. Okay, sorry. Almost pulled a
Batrider's
casual
coming
call
in
there,
with Gale. Oh, this is so painful to watch. Imagine being this tiny right now. You get Gale by the Venomancer, and Batrider's just standing atop you.
and they'll get
That's
it
a
done.
horrible way to die.
Thank God I didn't have a
Meanwhile,
draft
top
overlay
lane.
still up for that one, but top lane at that same moment, they will also share kills. Simultaneous action breaks out. Kills split a piece here. Obviously a favorable one going the way of aTTaX as they shove that Tiny right back, but he will TP right back into the mid lane on this one.
Oh, Nisha could be in trouble now. Also, Swift doesn't have Invis. He kind of got juked for the first Kuchi, so that's not going to work out. But Batrider will come with a bounty rune there. Exotic Deer claims the bounty rune over there. So, with CK, they tried their first gank, didn't really work out. It was kind of sad, but then they did it again. They got the kill. So, all kind of works out. Leading on CS is the Clinks, followed by the Tiny, followed by the Bottom. So, overall, I think Radiant are getting a better laning stage right now, especially with the fact that their Wisp isn't doing horribly. But the fact that Batrider is having a decent time of it means that Tiny and the Wisp are gonna be worried about fighting against that.
Oh, come on, it's only 2.5 minutes and 1-1 apiece. Surely you can't draw conclusions on this laning phase already.
No, I'm just saying what could happen, not what is. Not
Ice
what is
Frog
going
did
to
not
happen.
patch for this. He wants this game
Alright,
to be
so-
closer.
Nyx has got his Blightstone now. Nyx is one of the better heroes leaning against this. You got the Poor Man Shield, you got the bonus regen. So he shouldn't have a too difficult time staying up here. So the Nyx getting a pretty early level 6 is one of the main things that Elements are going to use to take fights.
Mm-hmm. They are putting a lot of tension up here, though. I mean, CK and Wisp are now looking like a...
is the overlay still on? Or did
No, I
fix
already
that?
fixed
Okay,
it.
yeah, okay.
It's just that
Yeah,
2 minute
I
delay.
figured that was the thing, yeah.
Don't worry, I got it before the first blood. Oh, but I missed that one. Bottom lane, they are going to be able to get the jump onto the Mirana. They'll take him down. Swift Ending will walk away, nomming down a tree to kind of get the extra regen. Top lane, Clink's also going to get dropped. Looks like they were able to kind of get the stun off and pull him back into trouble. That Wisp CK roaming duo perched on the side for payoff in mid lane. Tiny! Scorched apart with the fire and with the poison here. Nothing else to say, but Batrider will go down as an exchange. Cole will at least get the benefit from that one, but still an advantage for aTTaX in the mid lane. Trades again, back and forth.
Oh, the Wisp CK coming in, but no, too late. Yeah, so Clink's realizing just how squishy his hero is at this point, but I think Warlock will stay up here now to... so will Batrider. But Wisp CK grows stronger, and they're acquiring runes together, and they're looking for battle. And they might find it.
Off to battle. Gogi waiting on the side here, but there are 3 from aTTaX. They're like, you know what? Let them come again. They're baiting out this Clinks right now. In hopes that someone's going to make the jump. There they go for it. Will the counterplay be there? Oh, swing and a miss on the stun. And now they turn it back, looking to go for LeBron. He's going to be able to live. Wisp is back and out, but look at this. The Batrider shows his ugly mug and will be able to burn on forward. Gets the takedown of the Nyx. LeBron says, I'm here to help you, buddy, but he might have put himself in trouble. Got it. One more right click will take him down. And it is going to be Elements who lose 2. Game now even, 4-4. Payoff right there, aTTaX. Baiting him.
Yeah, that was just a mistake from Elements. They just didn't dust early enough, so the stun just didn't hit. Losing the CK stun in that situation is just completely detrimental. There's no way they win the fight if they don't get that stun. And they would have got the Clinks and they would have got out if they did, but that's how things happen, I guess. Oh, Podem is now... She's doing okay. She's getting level 5. She's getting bounty runes. Weaver's farming just a tiny bit worse, but there's nothing really in that. But what I'm curious about is just... Tiny's just getting XP and a decent amount of CS, and Veno is just being Venomancer, but I don't think they're getting as much out of this Veno pick as they would have liked, but it's 5 minutes in, so...
Yeah. It's early, but, I mean, Tiny can't do anything about these wards now, so... He's just kind of stuck waiting for the creeps to push near the tower and hoping to get some last hits under the tower, which obviously no mid laner really wants to be stuck doing, but... There will be continual pressure here by Exotic Deer, and while they can leave him defend for himself, the rest of the team is still kind of rotating up here. CK and Wisp still looking to do battle. This time they'll move in, and they will be able to get the little Warlock, an easy takedown, but now Batrider takes to the skies. Carapace, double stun right there, nicely done by Mitch. But as they try to head on out, it looks like Deer has shown up to play, and there goes all the poison, all that sticky goo, and it's going to be able to bring down the Wisp, and it's going to get the takedown of Gogi. So rotation there, questioning the relevance of where the Venomancer was going to be. Well, those kills will help him out quite a bit. He's almost level 6, and will have an option to go for the Poison Nova if he wants. But
yeah, this early roaming of Wisp CK isn't really working out as well as they would like, but Exotic Deer is under attack.
Caster's Curse.
And Exotic Deer is dead.
He is dead for sure. Warlock, he just got back! He's dead again! And double kill suddenly for Cole. Alright, Elements really off to the races after that now. Lose a couple there in the top lane, bounce right back. Getting some redemption here in the mid lane. But has left a little bit of space for Faye now. With all the attention off of him, he can farm up a bit up in this top lane. I was going to say the same for Mirana, but it looks like she's already been bullied back and out from the lane. As,
she not so bad. She's got what she wants. She's got her Aquila, she's got her wand, she's got Max Starstorm now, so she can go for. She doesn't really want to fight elsewhere, but she can like join enough. Oh, Pink's under attack again, but he's gonna invis, and no dust comes out in time. So I'm just afraid Batrider and Warlock are just gonna be really under-leveled from this early game.
Target acquired. Arrow is obviously gonna be off the mark for Elements. And as they prowl the land here, does aTTaX could run across Mitch, but no vision to scout him out here. And he'll just be around to kind of sap up the XP instead. Waiting for a time to strike. Here comes reinforcements, and they go right for the Clinks. And with the Rift back, they'll be able to bring him down. Faye's going to get dropped on that one, and the rest of aTTaX are going to have to back on out. Gogi, man, trying to be the enforcer on his CK. He even grabs up the bounty rune here and says, "This is my country."
Main thing I'm seeing from Dire is like, before Rock, there's really no counter-initiation potential whatsoever. Like, they're very good if like they're chasing people down with Napalm and Firefly and people are galed and things like that, but if your Clinks is getting gone on, there's really not much that a Batrider or a Warlock who's level 3 can do.
Okay, Nisha tried to get out the arrow, didn't connect, and then LeBron shows up, joins Gogi a bit. Oh, and a double heal of the Shrine. LeBron will hang back and hand over the double regen. Toss on forward, Mitch. Nice carapace, locks him down, waits with the stun. They'll get the connection. That was like a little bit of a Harlem Globetrotters play. I like that. Elements. Good little teamwork right there, and they pull ahead now 10-6 in the kill count.
Yep, Clinks and Warlock decided the top lane is too dangerous, and they are moving down to pressure this tier 1 bottom. Mitch is already here, however, and Wisp is not level 6, so that's not a threat currently, but they are smoking down to bottom, so
yep.
Time is limited for this power attacking squad bot lane.
Warlock at level 4 here. He is waiting for a tome, I'm sure, in his near future, but they are persistent on getting this tier 1. That's a mini Ravage as they get the nice 3-man stun connection right there from Mitch. Faye trying to make it back and away, gets poisoned up, but then there's Gogi to cut him off, and they'll take him down. Follow-up kills also going to be there as they get the takedown of both the Warlock and the Venomancer. It's a triple takedown all day for Elements. The others from ATN trying to make it back and away, but look at this Weaver rushing right in on the action. Cole jumps forward too. A toss on in. Can they get the finish for Potom? They want to get Marana down, and they'll do it. Nice job there. Okay, Gogi, can he get the pullback? Yeah, he's trying to get a reality rift, but that bat is a bit too far.
Yeah, so they overstayed their welcome by quite a long time. They just didn't think about the Nyx being there. They didn't have any sentries down, which happens when your supports are extremely underfarmed, as Warlock is currently. But Gogi has perished, unfortunately.
Yeah, they'll get at least one little forgiving kill right there, but it has been a hard life for aTTaX here. Trying to at least step away from what has been a troublesome top lane and trying to get an advantage, which pushing that tier 1 in the bottom only causes more destruction, but they will... Oh, that was a neutral kill onto LeBron. We'll send him back. Doesn't it add extra respawn time now, though, if you die to a neutral creep?
Yeah, I think it was like you have the same death time as a level 12 hero automatically, I think.
Ah.
Which actually made the level 1 kind of recovery of the double deny quite efficient, because that doesn't incur the same penalty.
We see their bottom lane. Nisha, who makes a return, unfortunately goes down right away. Still not kind of anticipating everyone who's been around. Ever since Mitch has been able to get his level 6, Nyx Assassin has already been setting up so much for his team, and I don't wager that's going to be stopping anytime soon. So.
Yep, he's getting closer and closer to his dagger. Batrider has got level 6, but obviously he's support, so he doesn't really have that much. The Warlock level 6 is one of the most important things, but the Clinks doesn't have much farm right now, so I think they need to bait the Wisp CK into relocating onto the Clinks, and then basically show up with a Veno ulti and a Rock. Yeah. And then hope everyone just kind of disappears from there, which is what things tend to do when getting hit by
Rift for Faye. They got a dust. They're looking to go. Clinks turns the corner, trying to juke through the trees in the creep wave, but eventually is going to get caught up. Mitch will help get the finish on that one, and it has been a hard life for your little bone Fletcher.
Oh, dagger on Tiny, and they're pinging out the Veno. Are things about to happen?
Things might be happening here, Ryan. Here's Cole, waiting. Blink dagger in
Thinking
pocket.
About it. They know the Rock's there. They see him.
Int treads, just in case he needs the double bit of mana, but it looks like he'll step back and settle instead for the bounty rune.
And then he grabs a DD right after. And Potom... Oh, is he going to bait this rune? No.
I don't know. Oh, he tried to leave it for swift ending on that one, but unfortunately in passing, Marana's going to snag it up. How important, though, they got to make this Rock Wombo combo count.
This Rock has to work. If this Rock doesn't work, then yeah, it... You're making fun of me. Alright, so... Yeah, they have to get this Rock down, otherwise Tiny's going to get another 2-3 minutes of being able to run around the map, because he's got his Blink now, the Wisp is level 6, so, and the Nyx also has his dagger. So the map becomes very, very scary at this point, so they're looking for a smoke.
Oh, and it gets popped. Gogi hanging nearby. dodges the arrow, steps back, and crisis may be averted there from Elements because of that one. Mitch is already amongst them. Connects with the Vendetta, misses with the stun, tries to Carapace and run back and away, but they wait it out, get the lasso, get the pullback into a Starstorm, into a kill. Alright, aTTaX are not going to be able to get the big team fight they were hoping for with that smoke, but they will get a nice little forgiving kill on the Nyx Assassin, so...
Yeah, so I think they need this kind of thing to happen. They need to catch the Nyx Assassin out, they need to have time where they can farm without worrying of like, oh my god, is there a Nyx on me, am I about to get relocated on? And Ninja 7, whatever he's called, is dead.
They will try to counter it with a rock, or maybe he was trying to get a rock to stop him. Whatever the case may be, this rock isn't going to be leading to a whole lot, and Elements just kind of quickly disperse once they see it drop down.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And aTTaX obviously probably going to look to try to push forward a bit. The return of LeBron is just going to lead to a tether across the street. And he makes it away. And now with the Chaotic Offering already out there, Elements could look to line up a team fight themselves. Cole is waiting up north there, trying to see if maybe he can get a good jump in. Oh, man, money now for Swift Ending as he just takes down that Golem like it's nothing. It's got to be a bit demoralizing at the moment for aTTaX.
Yeah, they're basically going for... So, CK's got his drum now, Tiny's going to go for Shadow Blade, Wisp going for Deso.
How you doing? How you doing? Oh,
he's going to barely survive that. But all it takes is one fight with Golem, and Clinks will get some free space to right click, and he does a ridiculous amount of damage even now.
They are going to be able to get that finish onto the Bat, and a follow-up kill onto the Cat Lady, tossing her up and down. 9 lives, quickly getting shredded apart right here, unfortunately. They will be able to get return fire as LeBron gets taken it down from Faye. Stun combo, though. Gogi now looking to go for the finish, and we'll get it onto the Warlock. aTTaX lose another 2. But it doesn't stop there. One by one, they try to file in now. Faye kind of getting in on the action. As Venomancer's just trying to make the best out of getting some wards down here in the meantime. But it's Elements who are just kind of posturing up as a dominant force right now. I mean, 20 and 9.
All they really want is just the game to slow down a bit. They want to get extra levels on Clinks. They want to get his Deso. They've got the Veil and Venomancer. Maybe. Oh, LeBron gonna die here.
Yes, he is.
That's important. They need that. Without the Wisp, Radiant really don't feel comfortable fighting. Without the Relocate, it means that people can farm lanes freely. They don't have to worry about follow up.
Say they should be not keen to fighting without the Wisp, but Gogi's been fighting this whole game. Now he finds himself in a bit of a pickle as he gets hog-tied up, pulled back. Good Carapace will stun them down, though. And now they're jumping from Cole. He quickly bursts and takes down the little Fletcher. Gogi, though, going to get sniped from the back lines there. Nicely done from Mirana. Swift Ending gets the finish, though, as Venomancer's going to get dropped over on the right-hand side. Cole looking to move into the trees. Sees that Bat Rider. Throws him up and down, and Swift Ending will also pick that one up. Double kill for him. Warlock trying to creep in on the action, has his Chaotic Offering now, but he's late to the fight. And now he's just like, please, have mercy, I'm a Warlock. Dead. Screw you, Warlock. They shove his head into the shrine, and they peace out. And they take down 4 all day, only losing Gogi.
Yeah, they didn't have Rock, so fighting without Rock is still a very dangerous idea. Even if Wisp is dead, it's... if you're not actually hitting anybody and Wisp doesn't actually have to heal anyone, then it doesn't really matter if the Wisp isn't there, because everyone was just kind of running away from the scary Tiny and the scary CK. Which I think is what Radiant kind of want.
What do we do now for aTTaX? I mean, you have the Rock now, so back to the farm a bit, and you just gotta hope, man, you can line up the Fatal Bonds, the Rock, the Venomancer ulti.
Just get your Clinks Deso, I think. You get your Clinks Deso.
Yeah, he's getting close to it. He's getting close.
Get one counter initiation with Rock, and then you kill 2 or 3 heroes in that Rock, which is still very, very easy to do.
Oh, Cole have spotted little Nisha here, but luckily for the Mirana, she has enough life with the courtesy of that point booster that she'll be able to leap away from the trouble.
Yep, that's the reveal of the Shadow Blade too, I think. So that's not necessarily like a good thing, but it's not bad for Dire right now. So things are kind of relaxed a bit. They've got control over their own jungle again. That ward is about to expire, which they're about to walk into. Hopefully they don't try and smoke up or anything right now. They don't have any smokes. It's just their 3 cores farming here.
Somebody forgot their talent.
Who was it?
Or Nisha, looks like. Unless she opted for something else instead of the agility or the health.
And no, she's not got it.
Oh, Cole.
Oh, exotic deer.
At that same moment, looks moving for the deer. Needs another right click. Can't quite get it. Will the spirits do it? Yes, they will. LeBron barely able to live, but Faye will be able to get the finish. And as he gets that kill, then Gogi shows up and says, I will get redemption. And easily
Warlock's
gets
almost
some
there in
assistance
time.
and gets it blasted down. Warlock, though, again, just a little late to show up with his rock friend. And we'll have to walk back in a way.
Clinks shreds those heroes, but not to be.
Not to be, indeed. Elements, man, just really right up in the grill of aTTaX in their own neighborhood, too. Just put them in such awkward fights where all they really want is to just make one cool team fight happen. But, man, Elements are just not making it. Look at them. Look at them. They're getting in their face. Jumping from Mitch now, committing on in, looking to get Nisha here. Suddenly a Wild Wisp shows up, and they still can't get the finish. Okay, is it rock time? Is it rock time?
Nah.
No.
He's not pressing it.
No, Mirana's gone.
He needs the Clinks and the Venom to be there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not enough damage.
You need to have everything.
Heal, but, yeah, the Wisp will just heal someone up, and then he'll just kind of laugh at you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wisp now, what has he got? Oh, right. Just looking at his quick buy, he's just going for Helm of the Dom. Oh, is that? No.
I mean, it is a Helm of the Dom and his quick buy, but that could be a mistake. I don't know. Does the new Helm of the Dom really benefit a Wisp?
I don't know the Helm of the Dom changes. It gives stats and it tiny bit extra, but I don't know if it do anything for a Wisp really.
Buffer, I want to say, and faster. You can get an Alpha Wolf. I guess that's pretty cool. But here's a smoke play. aTTaX need a big fight here, and it's just going to be on a Wisp. I mean, you could say almost in that case that the Wisp is just kind of tanking the gank for the rest of his team.
But they are going to fight this. They are going to feel confident pushing the tower, I think. Especially with Clinks there, so
Hail Mary! Oh my goodness, that almost catches. That catches. That Swift Ending is dead. But
yeah, if that catches, they definitely lose this tier 2 and they can't do anything without the Weaver. Weaver now has just put his Deso into his inventory, so... But they're not going to want to fight this. Mother of all team fight is a bit scary still. And he's just running around a bit, collecting a regen.
Flirting around for this tier 2, but not committing in yet without knowing what Elements is truly up to here.
What they really want to happen is they really want people to try and kill Veno, or one of the heroes in the front, and they want to counter-initiate with Rock, and then take the fight, and then take the tower. That's the ideal scenario, but I don't think they're going to get that. They have the Batrider Blink, but no Lasso, so that's not going to be too effective right now. They see the Nyx, and he knows he is seen, so no fight will come off this, I think.
Just tension instead, and well, Elements
going on a little adventure down here.
Surrounding a little bit here. aTTaX though, they can't afford to just kind of lollygag a bit. Oh my god, they might have just gotten the snipe onto the Warlock before any rock will be had. He'll be taken out of the game. Exotic Deer will just settle for hitting the R button and getting that Poison Nova out, but he gets quickly bursted as a follow-up. They're looking to go for the Batrider. Can they get him too? With Gogi's Rift pullback, it looks like they could. Spirits will be able to get the finish on that one, and 3 will drop from aTTaX. A smoke movement in, a hope to be able to make a big wombo combo happen, and again, they will miss out on that. And Elements really going to be on the up and up now.
Elements are just playing the game of find the Warlock, and eventually they did. So, as a reward, they get to kill pretty much everybody. And now Swift Ending starts to go towards more defensive items. He's going for the Lincoln Sphere. Wisp now probably buying something. The Echo Saber is now up for the Tiny. They need the bottom Axe. They need Warlock preferably to have level 11 and max Faithful Bonds. They also want need a bit more stuff from Dire right now.
Oh, combo set up on for the Mirana here. Can they get it done? They will. Making it look effortless here as they get these picks. Every single one they seem to be able to come across. They kind of make quick work of. Elements in a fine position as they're getting closer to that 10k gold advantage. Closer to 15k as far as XP goes. And what do you think with where this patch is? And you know, I know people could say there's always a difference between your pub and your competitive play, but is this game forgiving for this kind of snowball play? Or if a team's able to snowball this hard, is it more difficult to kind of get the momentum back?
I think maintaining map control is more difficult. I think it's very hard to just kind of even with like having a Wisp and a Nyx or whatever, like they were still able to group up as 5 with Exotic Deer and the Baron. Like they were able to pressure this tower. They were able to group up and go for the Wisp pickoff. So I think maintaining map control is harder if you're ahead, but I think I don't think it's necessarily more difficult to hold like a snowball advantage. And I'm starting to worry now, like, what they're gonna really do now, because Warlock, the Rock is now scary, but it isn't as scary as it was like 5-10 minutes ago. The Clinks, he does a lot of damage, but the heroes he's playing against now, the CK's got like the point booster and a drum, the Tiny's getting more and more tanky, the Nyx is starting to get closer to an Aghanims now, he's got his Midas. It's getting to the point where Radiant are going to have enough items that they don't really have to worry about like the super death Warlock Golem Banner ulti thing that's going to happen to them. They can have a bit of leeway in these fights. Which, when they have that tiny bit of leeway, they can do a lot with that. Especially with an Aegis Weaver.
Yeah, we are fortunately just not seeing aTTaX being able to bring it together here, with lots of credit of that going to the way for Elements, as they always seem to be able to be creeping on in here. The assertiveness of Gogi throughout the game, I mean, I was banking that was the intention from the Venomancer to possibly be jungling at some point, but with the way that Elements have been roaming around between the Nyx and between Gogi CK, they always have to employ this like buddy-buddy system, but here they look to potentially make their move. They get the lasso pullback into a rock. This might be the best chance for aTTaX. They even line up the Venomancer ulti with the bonds. Can Elements withstand this one and still come out on top? They're looking to go for it here. Batrider's on chase. We'll be able to get the takedown of the Wisp before he can relocate out. Gogi heading south to make it away from trouble. The whole fight totally split apart here. Now they focus for Cole. Up in the top lane here. And this Tiny is stickied up. Can barely turn around. Just gets off any stun he can, but not going to be good enough to go down from the side of Elements. This was the best fight aTTaX could hope for. Only managed to claim the lives of, well, 3 now. But those are a lot of bounties going their way, too. I mean, look at the money they got off of that. Nearly 3K, over 3K of a trade.
Yep, they just press the button, and once the initiation is done, like, Nyx has pressed his buttons, Wisp has gone in to try and save the Nyx assassin. The Tiny and CK, like, they really can't do much after the initial go. Like, they need to kill 1 or 2 heroes with the Tiny combo, with the CK stun rift. Otherwise, the Veno and Batrider start taking the toll, and the Clinks basically just completely destroyed the Weaver in that fight. A Weaver with a Dragon Lance and a Desolator does not do anywhere near the same damage as Clinks does, and Clinks can prove that, because he took the Aegis very, very quickly, and then he boned Weaver out of the fight completely out afterwards, so. And also, Wisp Helmet on is good because it gives attack speed aura, and it gives 8 health regen in an aura as well. And I didn't know it did that, so. Good item.
So could we see this pop up a lot more in supports?
Only Wisp, I think.
Okay. Lasso here for Nyx. Tries to carapace it off. Not enough damage comes out from the Clinks, but extra safe here as Elements aren't going to even do the relocate pullback. Gogi, though, on chase. Carapaces the fire, which stuns down the bat, and that is why he hates Nyx Assassin just so freaking much, man.
Yeah, just good reaction time for the Nyx. If he doesn't get that carapace off, he dies in 2 seconds because of the Clinks, but he gets the carapace done off on both of them, so he survives, and they get the pick off on the Batrider. Swift Ending is kind of alone here, but there's only really a Potom and a Warlock, so he can kind of do what he wants. And he's got his buddies, Nyx and to come with him. And CK's got his own little dog now.
He wants this tower. He gets it. Gets it fast, while back and behind. Gogi's in a lot of trouble here. Him and Nyx trying to make a gank play happen, and they end up eating a couple of ultis. LeBron trying his best to save Gogi on this one, but he is slowly getting withered away, and they'll be able to bring him down. Exotic Deer with the double kill from that skirmish. Elements' gunfire doesn't seem to be as potent as the clock begins to tick here. Suddenly things are stringing together for aTTaX.
Alright, so Lynx is building towards his Skadi. He's going to get tankier and tankier. Like, all he needs to do is he needs to hit a HP threshold where he doesn't get bursted by the CK Tiny. And once he hits that point, as long as he doesn't get too messed around with by the Nyx, he's going to kill pretty much everybody. Like, anyone who's scaled, anyone who's got enough napalm on them is vulnerable to being blown up. Because they just can't get away from it. Their daggers won't matter. And you see here, he just shreds the Weaver, immediately forces him to back, and then he can probably get some damage on the tier 2 if they had a creep wave.
There's that level 3 death pack too, every 15 seconds. Just pops in a new one. Takes that one though for now and walks back out. They're not going to be able to get too much damage on that tier 2. aTTaX will just step back entirely and looks like go for a bit of a reset here. And back to the grindstone, if you will. As Warlock will be creeping closer to his level 2 ulti now. And yeah, then you have more potent rock action here. Venomancer obviously already had the Veil, has an Ags now. So, Elements, are they prepped for all this? Like, is a pipe probably necessary in this, in the near future? Or do you think they can get by without one?
I think no one can really build it. Like the CK is pretty determined. Oh no, CK's okay. He's taken it upon himself. He is the pipe builder. He will do so. He's got it on his quick buy.
Yep. Yeah, that's
really nice
smart.
having that information actually. So, Swift Ending. Got Lincoln's going for what I seem to be a Daedalus, and you can see it. So there's no doubt. Tiny's going for his BKB now. So they're just getting this next tier of items, but I think the Klinx is going to get the Scardy, and he's just going to be untouchable, really. As long as he doesn't get molested by the Nyx, which may happen. He might just get a Nyx on top of him with Carapace, and then he gets stunned up and followed on by the Tiny. But as long as that doesn't happen, and the Klinx get time to right-click, I think he has a pretty good time. Because there just isn't much armor between the heroes of Radiant.
I mean, could see. I just fear that because I haven't seen much of this game where it's been aTTaX able to kind of dictate the fights. A lot of the fights have obviously been kind of falling into their lap. If we see any sort of relative patience here from Elements, I could see Cole just trying to get in the face of Klinx a bit. I don't know if you have to like fluster him at that point so he's not able to kind of just machine gun his way through the team, but Mitch, mid lane, looking for the setup here. Relocate in, and it's nicely done. Leads him to the kill with the timing appropriately. Moran doesn't stand a chance.
Yep, and now losing the bottom there, I don't think they're going to feel confident going for this tier 2 top. Even if they did before.
Zox here trying to lay down some wards. They rush him with the drums, but they will not be able to get any sort of rift or pullback, and Venomancer steps all the way back and away. But
he does have his axe now, but no level 3 ult, so he needs to wait for that. Yeah, that's his kind of super Veno stage.
That's when it's 60-second cooldown too. I hate when you have to use it at second level and you're almost getting that third level. The extra minutes just really suck.
They really do. Okay, so this tier 2 mid is probably going to take quite a lot of damage, but I don't think they feel comfortable knowing that the bottom is back up. They have the Ags on Nyx, but they need to get some time where they can maybe get a pick off with Tiny or CK and then go in for the fight, because they still don't want to just brawl this right now. Because a lot of these heroes, like Tiny, CK, Weaver, like none of these heroes want to be the one that's caught with the Gale and ends up next to the Klinx, because that hero is not going to have a fun time. Maybe Weaver can get away with it, but any other hero is most likely going to die. Are they going to get the lasso? They can't. They have nothing to break Lincolns with, so...
Alright, and they get it taken down. Mid lane, a jump for Mitch here. There's going to be the bump back, and that will be the end of it here. Without any sort of follow-up detection, he's going to be able to make it away. But aTTaX not looking to kind of let that one pass so easily. Sorry, I'm going to get a fix here on the sound, apparently, that I'm going to be taking care of right now. Okay, should be good now. Sorry, guys. Apparently there was no audio when we were not talking, but I think I might have fixed that now. Nonetheless, though, a mission was had by aTTaX. They came down the mid lane. They wanted a tier 2. They got that. And now they're cycling themselves up towards the top, where we have Swift Ending doing a little bit of a split pressure here. I imagine set to race on back and TP out, but looks like back to the board here for aTTaX. The momentum beginning to shift just slightly. This was heavy-handed advantage for Elements up to this point, but Rhyme, it looks like aTTaX are just slowly evolving themselves into a nice potent late game here. I mean, they already have pretty good high ground defense too, so it wasn't going to be easy for Elements to kind of close this one out.
Yeah, I think it's gonna hit the point where Tiny's gonna have his BKB, he's gonna have a pipe, and then it kind of gets a bit easier. But there is just so much damage on Dire that they really do need to get pickoffs, and they've been doing that almost all game. But they need to catch this Warlock, they need to catch this Vanna, and without doing that, it's gonna be almost absurd to try and think of taking any fight right now.
Yeah, the pickoffs are not just coming nearly as easy here for Elements, and they have a lot of people on their team who really want to farm up, but there's just not a lot of farm options here, unless they're kind of pressing on forward. So I know any moment that they're kind of waiting around a bit is just moments lost, and the momentum just kind of being taken away. Big item pickup though, is Faye's going to be grabbing his BKB now. That is en route. Is that a go item right now for aTTaX, as in, you know, let's pick this up and go beat some ass?
Clinks cannot die. If with the 10-second BKB, he is untouchable. He's got, with the Dark Pact, he's going to have 3k health, hit for 350 almost, and you see now. He's pretty scary. And they're not going to be able to catch the sweeper, I don't think, but if they...
Well, they're going to cut him off. They're going to try to cut him off. He's racing straight down, trying to stalk him perfectly. Here's Faye, but doesn't look like they'll be able to get the nab. Weaver makes it all the way back towards the tower here, and Epi avoid any sort of confrontation. But you can just see by the way their body language is, if you will, before Elements happy to take any fight that was laid across them, but now are obviously a bit more hesitant, especially while the rock is down. And Venomancer's now got his level 3 ulti. This is just not going to be an easy team fight. Chaos Knight has his hood, but Pipe is still in the works, and I guess just they want to make sure they have some more defensive measures before any future fights taken. But eyes on Roche here, and it looks like Elements are going to be making the move into it. aTTaX are nearby. I mean, Exotic Deer at least is going to try to scout things out with his wards, but now his team's coming in.
They're not going to get there in time. Things could just run in, but that's scary.
They're going. The stun's actually a miss. Faye runs in. BKB. And now they make the move. Swift Ending is going to be picking up the Aegis on this one, but they'll quickly lose Tiny. Faye goes to work, dishing out the right-click damage. Swift Ending is going to be forced back. Both him and the Wisp trying to duck out into a safer position. Gogi right in the midst of a fight as they split between the pit here. aTTaX not really eager to kind of rush up into the high ground. And that's what happens. Bat makes his move in, gets quickly taken down. Mitch now hides and burrows. But there goes Faye, right-clicking on forward, and now aTTaX are going to have to double back. That is just a hard shot to take on the chin. Swift Ending, though, continues to make chase and just easily takes down the Warlock on the back end of it. It's a nursing fight to kind of wait on out, but the rewards are there for Elements, and he still gets to hold his Aegis, too. Ooh, not for long, though. Jump in for Mirana, gets the Aegis snipe, and now they're looking to possibly go for Mitch, thinks about the burrow, and then changes his mind and gets back by the side of Swift Ending. Ooh, Mirana leaps up and away here. Still has the creep, but I was going to say might be able to make it away. Ooh, Swift Ending, man. He's a gamer.
Yeah, he's just kind of doing as much as he possibly can. He's going to get the platform pretty soon, and he's probably going to use that to deal with the Potom every single fight. And Potom's nowhere near BKB or Lincoln's or anything like that, so she needs to play far more carefully after the Weaver gets that item. And now, although his first use of the BKB wasn't very fortunate, the second use of the BKB, which 9-second on the Tiny, might be slightly more successful, because they've got a pretty easy line now. They've got Rock down for a minute. They probably want to group up, and I'd suggest taking this tier 2. It's pretty low, and they probably want to get access to the shrines.
Yep. Tier 2 in the mid lane goes down, and they can get rid of those shrines. AK also bring in a lot more money. Pipes up 2 on Gogi. Seems like a good go time for Elements. But
they just don't quite feel it.
They're just not feeling it. Maybe it's the weather, but mid lane. Lasso pullback here for Mitch. Goes right into his burrow. Quick carapace right now if he wants, but there is going to be instead the pullback there from Gogi. Quick leap away from the Mirana. There's the carapace. Will stun onto the bat, but jumping from FaZe, he pops the BKB and quickly shreds apart not one but two. Clink's just kind of be the hitman assassin right here in the midst of the fray. Swift Ending going to be forced to go into a time lapse. There's the Rift pullback. They're going to look to burst down the Clinks and they'll get it done. Swift Ending now godlike there as he gets assistance from both Cole and Gogi to get the finish on the little Bone Archer. Now TP's out for aTTaX as they go into full retreat mode.
3000 health doesn't really do that much for you when you're Bloodthorned with a CK ulti hitting you. Like, you just kind of tend to disappear when that happens. So Podham's going to push out this wave, try and get as much as possible before she has to come back and defend. Exotic Deer's got ulti up in 20. They pop the Fortify. Probably going to regret wasting that.
Yeah, might have been a bit of a misfire from maybe that mid tier 2, but whatever the case may be, Elements will just take the tier 2 and walk back out because it's time to get some shrines, baby. Shrine farming time. As this will earn an extra 150 gold into the pocket here of Elements. They take down the 1. There's still one more standing down here, but they'll take their business to the top lane in the meantime. So this gets them on the up and upward swing once again as they continue to float between that 5 to 10k net worth advantage. Still not too overbearing in the game. It's not over yet. aTTaX still, as I mentioned before, have a pretty good high ground defense after all. And
I think Radiant are just going to get tankier and tankier now. They've got the Ghost Scepter on Wisp, so he no longer gets disintegrated by the Clinks. They've got, well, we know they've got the Ags already. They've got the Pipe now on CK. Tiny's getting close to AC. Weaver's looking towards a Heart, but that won't be for a while. But Lynx, he's got Daedalus, and he's probably going to go towards Bloodthorn, but his damage has already gone past its peak. Like, he's gone past the scariest he'll ever be. So, at this point now, if Elements win a fight, then they get CK ulti, they get AC, every building dies. If Dire win a fight, then they've got a Clinks that might get stunned by a Nyx or something like that. It's just, fighting is a lot more difficult now. They still got the Vandal ulti, like, there's still a lot of damage that could be dealt, but they just need to be very, very careful.
And Elements seem to be kind of moving on forward here. Feeling pretty good about taking another fight, or at least their position in the game being a lot more defensive and having all those items prepped. As we migrate towards this back mid lane here. Oh, I never noticed, but it looks like we also don't get a new Roche timer, or we just have no idea. Well, I mean, Roche,
oh, yeah,
as I asked, he happened to pop up and say we have 5.5 minutes, but...
Yeah, you don't have a constant reminder to look at, which is kind of irritating, but maybe they'll fix that at some point. Maybe there's meant to be one, it just
I'm
isn't
sure
there.
it's on the list, just probably not high up on the list right now. But here's
Thanks
ATN.
DD, they might get a pick with his Batrider. He's got Force, he could pop Lincolns on the Weaver, but I think...
Ooh, they're going to head up north here, real close to Mitch and Swift Ending.
They got Gem though, they know the Clinks is following them, or they should do.
They migrate.
Are they going to run up?
And juked up north here.
One blink. No, he didn't blink the right way.
He's still there. He's still creeping in. And
just
I
get
see
killed.
ya. You're here. They've spotted. They dusted. And they jumped in. Exotic Deer is going to be able to get off the Gale. Swift Ending realizes he's now in a fight where he is at a big disadvantage. And he is trying to run from 4 members of aTTaX right now. And there's no clear juking path. He gets hit up with a huge Starstorm. And eventually just gets chased on down. The Bloodhounds were out for aTTaX. And they were able to nab the little beetle. 76
the most
seconds
important kill they could possibly get.
Yeah.
And Clinks become stronger. They're probably going to get this tier 2 now. Warlock has his Glimmer Cape now, and he's probably... Warlock can start thinking about items past the 14-minute mark, which is always quite nice.
Top tower is under attack.
Oh, okay, so there's a Yule's up on Podham, so they just got more stuff to control. And to save herself from the Bloodthorn, because she wasn't quite in the price range of the Lincoln Sphere at that point. Well, Mitch is going to get the initiation, though.
Jump in with Mitch, and a combo. They're going to be able to take out the Warlock before Chaotic Offering will be had. And now Element's looking to take the most of this opportunity. Gogi is going to be able to help get in the finish, as the takedown's going to be there for the Batrider. And there's going to be the committed Exotic Deer. Drops down the Poison Nova, but it does not deter them from being able to get the finish onto Faye. And one by one they go. Lockdown on for Mirana as they get the stun. She valiantly tries to leap Mackin away, but here comes a Hail Mary of a toss. It's Gogi right on her head, but she gets the Yules and the Blink. I love it as she makes it back out. But for the rest of the team, though, not so good, as they are not going to be able to have as fancy a moves to make it away from trouble. 4-man wipe comes out. Elements do that also without their Weaver.
Yep, they got the tier 2, but they lose their Warlock, and they didn't get to use Lasso, and Clinks, yeah, they just, without the Warlock, they just don't really have a team fight, even 4v5. There's just the Tiny is tanky enough, the CK does enough damage that they don't really have enough to clear these illusions. They have AoE damage, but they don't have like the immediate burst to clear the illusions out. They don't have AoE disable in order to stop the CK from hitting people.
How dare you try to TP in while I'm killing your shrine. Swift Ending just peppers down the Bat Rider, and he is thirsty for more. Oh, relocate in, and Mirana's going to be able to get off the E-Blade. Blinks away, but the chase is on this time, milady. You're not going to be able to escape, or have I still spoken too soon? She lives on, moves back under the tier 4, and will make it away. Wisp pulls the Tiny out from inside the base, but Swift Ending is not going to get the pleasure. Mirana again dancing around in front of him with the Yules, with the leap back. Oh my goodness, she's playing a dangerous game right now, but she continues to just make it away.
Warlock died again. He doesn't deserve this. No one deserves this. He's thinking of buying a 4-star. He's dreamed of this moment. After he completed the Glimmer Cape, there was a whole world of possibilities. And none of which he's going to get to see. Because Swift Ending is... Oh, his creep wave's completely dead.
Oh, pull back on for the Mirana here. Yules and leaps away. God damn, she's elusive.
Oh, he's got it. He's got the item. Are you ready? They got the AC on Tiny. They've got the ultimate on CK.
Alright, let's see it.
We're entering a new age.
I want to see some 7.0 strats here. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Oh, they might have to hold off, though. Team's in trouble. Swift Ending easily taken apart by Faye. And LeBron is going to be forced to TP back inside the base. Are his allies going to come nearby? I think they might have to. They want to get close enough for him to tether out from, but that would be too risky. Let's see if he finds a way out from this one. Yeah, nope. Bye-bye, LeBron.
So it goes. Bottom's trying to be annoying with the Tiny. She's got Gem, she's got a Yules, so... And she's got Arrow up. She might just go for the Yule's Arrow right now.
There's the Yules. She's trying to line up the arrow. Yes. She'll get it. It's a close one, though, so the stun won't be too long.
They got the lasso up, so
he's able to get off.
Might be.
Oh, the edge not going to be enough. She barely lives, but she is going to be fine. Hides up in between the trees before any sort of extra catch of the spell. Oh, look at this. Chaotic Offering committed to get the grab onto Mitch. They'll pull him back as well with the lasso, and suddenly it's Elements up against the ropes. Losing 4
Hanging
all
on the
day.
tier 3. And yeah, Clinks has got money for Bloodthorn if he wants it, but I think he'll probably save buyback at this point. But with this golem, they can pressure the tier 3. The Weaver's up in 20, the Nyx and the Tiny are probably the main AoE nukes to kind of hold off the push, so... Or they might... I don't know, they're a bit split, they don't have the Potom with them, she doesn't have BTs up for 20 seconds, but I think they have time to push this. Does also have the E-Blade, so she is able to be the Wisp Hunter from now on. And that tower dies quite quickly.
Yes, it does, man. Look at Faye going in. This tier 3 is going to get dropped.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Warlock got gold. Got quite a lot of it.
He's got 1,200 gold now.
He's got 4 stuff.
His 4-staff is going to be complete. Good for him.
Oh, I'm looking at the Warlock talents. He's skipped one.
Oh, he missed the opportunity for some movement speed or cast range.
But Roche is dying very, very quickly. So an Aegis on... I think Clinks maybe drops his boots for it.
Oh, you have your backpack now. So nice. Just throw something in the backpack, man. Take the Aegis. He won't.
No, they're going to give it to Exotic Deer, who disregards his Aquila.
Is that
Which
like
I'm sure he'll be
you give it
fine
to
with.
her, like hopefully you get 2 Poison Novas off in a fight, or
I
you
think-
just throw yourself away and
think,
then Poison Nova on the return?
Wow, the Bat Rider, like the Bat Rider and the Banner basically punish anyone that doesn't have a BKB in the fight at a given point. They are the heroes that allow Clinks and Potom to chase heroes, and I think just having him up, able to constantly veil and put Plague Walks down, cancelling the blinks of the Nyx and the Tiny, just having this hero alive is just a great benefit. And it also means that they don't have to worry about him getting bursted, so he's always going to get his ulti off in a fight. There's pretty much no way, unless like they stun out of Aegis or something like that, that they're going to kill him twice and stop him. So just guaranteeing that you always have that ulti up, and you always have like 2,000 damage with Veil on every single hero, it makes fighting for Elements extremely difficult. Because what do Elements really have in terms of teamfight? They've got a bunch of tanky heroes, and they've got some stuns, but they don't really have these like AoE mass damage things that ATN have. And they don't have that like one hero that can right click everybody. They don't have the Clinks level of DPS that they've got going on. Because he's got Bloodthorn now, and he doesn't like people being anywhere near him. So
I wouldn't get near him. Man, that guy hits like a truck.
he really does. Almost 400 damage now. With Bloodthorn, he shreds people instantly.
Here comes
The range
aTTaX
tracks
now,
is
a
one.
game where they were falling behind, now looking to go for some racks play here. One almost to fall here, the range so close to being taken apart. Is Gogi going to look to make his move? He still holds that Agnum's ulti. We'll have to see if it's going to be used on either the Weaver or the Tiny. What's the... It's 110 seconds, so you just can't keep casually throwing it out. Uh-oh. Cole takes an arrow to the bum. And now they're going to get the lasso. A pullback for Gogi here. Can they burst down the CK in time? Oh, they'll commit him with the Veno ulti on that one. This CK is dead for sure. E-Blade and everything. Maybe he just gets off his ulti before he goes. Nope. LeBron's here to try to help him out. They're committing everything they can. They'll be able to get the Warlock down, and they'll be able to take down the Aegis. But, oh, man, they get the Weaver. He might have to buy back to kind of get back into this fight as Cole jumps on in. We'll be able to get the slide and the takedown of FY. Mitch goes into Burrow. They land up onto Exotic Deer, and we'll take out the Venomancer too. Arrow connection onto that one as Nisha continues to be that slippery little nugget. Heads back out, and we'll TP away. But aTTaX are not going to be able to get a whole lot of base work done in addition to that tower, only able to bring that range racks just a bit lower. But they hold. Gogi lives too, right? Did he live?
Yeah, he lived through that. Yeah. Oh no, he bought back. No, he died and bought back actually.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I just saw he was alive and it's like, no, he. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
But he bought back for that, so I'd say that's still worth buying back on the. Just check buyback status to see who bought back. Just the CK. So that's not too bad. The CK's pretty much got the items of relevance right now that he will get. I'm gonna say that like Dai have a bit of a problem that they don't have enough single target damage, which is evident when like the Tiny just pops BKB, and when Clinks doesn't have his, he can't really do anything without fear of getting repeatedly stunned and comboed up. So as his BKB goes lower, they're going to be looking towards the Podom more and more for damage dealing. And she does have
man,
7k
they
gold,
used it.
so.
There it is.
Dire's middle
The
tower
Manta is out, or the
Dire's structures
Oh,
are
look at those,
Illusion Army.
those trees. They're holding like strange half
they
trees.
look so messed up. I mean, they get the tier 3 down. How much work are they actually going to do on the racks? They actually hit pretty hard. They're going to get the racks down to about half of its life. Okay. I mean, was it worth it though for 110 seconds? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that was more under. Oh,
What?
that thing is in play now. You got the split shot arrow. So yeah, there might be lots of people getting 5 seconds stun now. Dota is a very strange place now.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, I was like, who are you talking? I was like looking at Clinks for arrows here. You're right. Oh, the extra sacred arrows here.
Oh, that's a hex. This is where elements, their gold advantage or their previous gold advantage now starts to show itself, because they're the ones who can build their hexes on their offlaners. Like Bloodthorn coming out from bottom. I was expecting Dagon 5, but Bloodthorn's not too bad. But she's kind of going fairly glass cannony. But I guess that's alright, because the Clinks is the one that's getting focused most of the time anyway. And just having another disable for the Weaver, so the Weaver has to be very, very careful. She doesn't have a BKB, so like if he joins a fight and then he gets like used and force stuff and the Batrider, like doesn't really have much to survive the Clinks whatsoever. Because when he was vulnerable and he didn't have Lincolns, Clinks killed him in 2 seconds. And that's just the thing about Weaver. Like Weaver's fine in mid game, fine for taking towers and taking early fights, but when he actually has to go up against other hard carries, he just doesn't do anything unless he's got like 2 items ahead.
Just trying to run around and take in all these talents that everyone's been able to kind of level up, as 25 is a reality for most of these heroes. And see what kind of game changing they can make here. But
I think Batrider's got some good ones. The Firefly duration allows him to like use it a lot more liberally.
ooh, Cole's been spotted. They'll both have to pop their BKBs. Cole's looking to make a break for the side shop here. Has some help nearby, but the rest of aTTaX are coming up from the south right now. There's going to be the relocate out. A swift,
the
quick
arrow
save.
almost caught Swift ending on the edge there. But they're
that does
gonna
look
just
like-
get out at the cost of the Wisp, I think.
Yes.
He's gonna be very dead. Oh, no.
Okay, they got the Yules there from Nisha. Gets connection with the arrow, and the Wisp goes down, but better him, of course, than the Tiny and him and possibly the other members of their team. So They'll be able to live on and double back while they continue instead to try to pressure up this mid lane a bit. Suddenly,
Both
here
coming through
comes...
mid lane.
Yeah, okay, here you go. Elements rushing in towards this top lane, maybe looking to catch aTTaX on their way back.
Oh, they might catch the Warlock here. That would be very
Mitch
bad.
making his move in. Can he get a hold of the Warlock? They put the Hex instead. They'll stun them both up. They're putting their focus instead onto the Clinks. He's a much bigger and juicier target. Now they'll settle for the Warlock. He's going to be taken out for a minute. Jumping from Nisha, looking to get the burst onto the CK here. Chases him back quite a bit. And with that poison, he's in a lot of trouble. He gets the Manta off onto the Weaver. But at the same moment, we see a lasso pullback play here. Looking to go for Mitch. It looks like they'll get him down. That's a gem on the deck. Actually has to pass on the gem here. Those Weaver... Look at the Weaver illusions! Oh dear, be careful! Man. He's like, I don't give a shit. I want that gem. Gets it, though. Walks back and away.
Does. There was a point where Weaver was like, after like when Warlock was getting focused down, Weaver was like, I'm gonna go on the Veno to make sure he doesn't do anything. And Veno had ulti on 2 heroes, so he was just like sitting there with his Octarine Core going, just, you're not doing anything, leave me alone. He was healing for like 100 every second, and Weaver just wasn't able to do anything. And with this Octarine Core, if he does get BKB, they can't kill Veno if he ultis more than 2 heroes, I think. During the course of that ultimate, he becomes effectively immortal.
It's ridiculous.
Although, yeah, he's going for BKB, but I think they do need a Shivas on their team. Like, a Shivas on Dire would be extremely good, but they don't really have anyone who can easily build into it other than this Venomancer, and he needs BKB because he's still liable to... I just think he should have a Shivas instead. He should be playing a bit greedier. And make himself like the Venomancer that if you don't focus will kill everybody, rather than the Venomancer that you could kind of go after, but leave him alone. So, because it will make it easier for the Clinks and the Moran to get things done if...
Ooh.
Oh, arrow catches the Tiny, but the other arrows will catch a creep and go into space. You're gonna have to watch out when that ability goes off, because like they could just be in multiple initiations waiting to happen.
Yeah, just shoot them off into your jungle. You might just get some extra money hitting creeps, or you might just get a straying Elements member, which will turn into a game-ending gank.
It's kind of scary.
You know, it's crazy. It's like a... I'm just going to casually arrow sweep the jungle here. I'm very anxious to see how she likes to utilize
Roshan has spawned again. He's decided to beat up the range creep that walked near him, so...
Moonlight Shadows out. aTTaX want to get in there and get that done. Swift Ending's nearby. So close, they don't even know it. There's the arrows to fly. Yeah. Cole's right between it, though. Oh, they get the lasso pullback for Mitch as he hides into his burrow. He gets easily blasted down. And now Elements have to kind of reconsider if they want to engage this or not. 80 seconds, no buyback on their Nyx Assassin. Are Elements going to go for this one? Dodge the arrows, though. Actually get connection on the CK.
That's just so silly. But Roshan is dying, and Veno hasn't used anything yet, so they just can't contest it. They might try and run in now with Pipe, but it's too late.
Thinking about it here, they round all the way up and over. A jump in from Cole. There it goes. It's going to get nabbed up. No, it's not been picked up yet. The Dire get the last hit. The Aegis is still on the ground inside the pit. No one's grabbed it yet. Someone's looking to go in there, and it's going to be the Batrider trying to pick it up. Has he grabbed it? No, he still hasn't grabbed it. Now he got it. Oh my god, jump in from Elements. They quickly wipe the floor with 3, and they're not done yet. As they move on forward for the Mirana, they'll be able to bring her down. The only survivor is our new Aegis holder in the Batrider as he flies up back to base.
And Nyx will buy back, and they want to threaten Rax.
They want to go for the game.
What's the buyback status now?
Buyback status now?
Only 2, and the Clink's on the bottom, so the Batrider hasn't died yet, but the Warlock and the Veno just don't really have them. So, yeah, so it turns out it wasn't too late. Tiny can go and kill the Clinks. Yeah.
Oh wow, when those illusions were up, they really hit the tower. Alright, this Rax is down. They're not going to buy back. Not for this one. Not for the mid lane. Our Elements going to keep moving in.
Second, maybe, but
yeah, they're going up north. They're going to go for it here. Buybacks might be required here if ATN want to stay alive in Dota Pit. They're going to have to buy back. There's the Clinks buyback. A jump in now. There's the lasso pull back with his BKB right into the arms of the Mirana. And now with the damage coming out from the Clinks, it's going to require the Ethereal, but not going to be enough to be able to keep the Tiny alive. He gets shredded down, and Elements will walk away with those winnings. Take down to the mid lane set of Rax, a top tier 3. There's a lot of money going the way of the Radiant side. And buybacks were also forced out, so Huge
The
swing
two
right there.
buybacks and a set of racks, yeah.
The prize is mine.
All because Tiny managed to kill the Clinks off before the Aegis got taken.
Haste.
So,
That
yeah,
was
that's just, like,
surprising.
I really didn't expect that to happen. I thought they had complete vision around it, but Tiny managed to circumvent the whole arrow vision and ward vision that was going on. Then he managed to get close enough. It was also the Weaver bug that gave him vision to know exactly when to go in. That was also quite important. And Mirana's just going to kill a shrine. She decides that she needs to do something after she's brought back, so they're going to move towards the spot lane. I don't think they really... They have Golem in 30 seconds, so they could look for a fight at this point. I think if they want to have like a really good chance in this game now, they probably want to wait for their buybacks, but I think they might just take the chance, like, if we can get a fight now, we could kill 2 or 3 heroes, force a buyback, and then bring this game back to an even state.
Here comes ATN on the prowl now. Pushing out this bottom lane, they shift their movement back up and directly through the mid here. Elements nearby kind of farming out their ancient stack, but hesitation here from aTTaX a bit. They do have, of course, the Golem Rock here ready to go.
Invisibility.
Level 3, but still waiting for that wombo combo to really be able to line up here. Elements have been really good at being able to pick off those pesky backliners. And just doing deceptives, like being really good at deceptively being able to just attack them from behind or have the element of surprise pretty much this whole game.
Yeah, it's all about like Elements just taking fights and going on people, and then like what happens after that is completely up to alternate attacks, really. Looking at Clinks now, at level 25 he gets the plus 70 strafe attack speed rather than the attack range, which I think is understandable, because I think heroes aren't really running away from him, they're just running at him en masse, so he needs to do as much damage as possible within his BKB, and making his strafe better is a good way to do that. Ooh, Weaver's paused the game, and as a result I'm now looking at his level 25 talent. 200 Shikuchi movement speed, so he becomes, apart from Bloodseeker when everyone's low, the fastest moving entity in all of Dota 2.
Nice. They even raised the move speed to this patch. 550, I believe it is now. But
What is haste 550 now?
yes.
Ah. Okay.
So the cap has been lifted a bit. But we are going to get back and underway after just a brief and mild pause here. We have aTTaX all together at this point, looking at their smokes here. Screw smokes, we have Moonlight Shadow, so they'll just use that instead. Heading right up towards the top lane. Elements are in the lane right now. Cole and LeBron, the second they're dropping down the wards as preparation, that's when they strike.
Oh, it's so important Tiny got out there, actually. Like, if Tiny dies there, then it allows them to push 2 lanes in, and then get to a point where they can start threatening base, but Weaver's now gonna just force people back. He's gonna make the bottom TP down, and he's probably gonna spam after that point.
Okay, swift ending.
Oh,
he
he's
is
gonna
trying to be a cheeky one
die
here.
horribly.
Bottom lane, trying to go for a tier 3, but the second he heads into the base, they make their jump. He was not anticipating they were going to be there, but look who they've spotted in the mid lane. Quick destruction of the Warlock. He'll be out for a minute without a buyback, and that means no chaotic offering, but there's Faye. Able to cut him off from the front. It's going to be forcing out the Ghost, but not going to be good enough for the CK. He gets shredded apart, and they'll get the takedown of Cole. Double kill for Faye on this one. Uh-oh, scary for Elements here. They have buybacks on all 3 of those heroes, with the exception of Wisp. And they have to set all the way back.
Does Venom just buy his BKB and they just run at the buildings? Well, I think if they die here, then the game just ends, so be very careful of that. Buyback status. Yeah, the Clinks in the bottom, they don't, so...
Ghost commits in for one already, but Clinks is going to work on the racks. There goes the burrowed stun. Good connection there. Follow-up is on the Hex. Can they get the Clinks down? Yes, they can. He got a little too excited trying to move into the base a little too early. Didn't spot out that Nyx stun, and that leads to his demise. He's out 100 seconds. No buyback on this Clinks. Back the other way we go. Here comes Elements now towards the Dire side.
Yeah, they need to do like some kind of miracle defense without this Clinks. They don't really have, without the Clinks, they don't have the damage to kill Tiny through his BKB. They don't have the damage to punish the Nyx.
Oh, just as she realizes there's someone in front of her face, she gets quickly hexed up. and now frantic to make it back out. Venomancer looking to help as well, drops his own ulti, and one by one they begin to crumble. Looks like it could possibly be the beginning of the end. Warlock says, just stop there. Drops down the chaotic offering. Where'd the golem go? Golem gets summoned, he gets killed right away, and here comes Elements looking to go for the jugular right into those tier 4s. Buyback going to be forced out from the Veno, but they have no Clinks and no Mirana buyback, and that could mean no chance of defending here.
These tiny illusions.
Look at these tiny
so
illusions.
hard.
Oh, man. And that will do it. 2-0. Elements Pro Gaming will move on into the lower bracket final and face up against Alliance in our next best of 3.
Yeah, that game just felt like it could go either way for a very, very long time. And then all it took was one bad fight for one team and then forcing buybacks, and then Clinks just got overeager and just got hexed and died. And then without the Clinks there, they don't have the damage to kill the tiny auto CK. So, I think, I wouldn't say it was like a comedy of errors, but I just say like it was just a bunch of mistakes that kind of built up and then like culminated in just buildings dying very, very quickly to the tiny.
I mean, Elements certainly played this one very aggressive here. What do you think about Gogi's roaming CK in the early game? You know, I mean, I don't know if Steno had planned to be a jungle originally, but obviously wouldn't have been able to bin one with Gogi in the game.
Yeah, I think they had very, very aggressive lanes there, like Weaver and Nyx, just heroes that want to fight quite a lot, and then they were just dragging the CK around. Like every single lane that they had could kill with a CK stun. So just having him like buffed up by the Wisp as well, like Clinks couldn't fight him whatsoever. The Warlock was very, very ineffective in the early stages without Golem. Like it took was like 20 minutes until they could fight against that. So yeah, it's just been quite effective really. They kind of tapered off a little bit when Clinks got really, really strong, but then it came back into its own again when he got the Ags and he could make Weaver illusions, although those did die fairly quickly. But I don't think we saw the full potential of it.
Definitely still a growing period in Dota 7.0 and its meta as we continue to see these teams just trying to, you know, be their own little mad scientist and try out all these new parts of the game and figuring out what suits them, what works with their playstyle. Elements, I don't know, the destruction, the base sieging. We'll see if it's a trend that does continue for them into the next round because they have to face up against Alliance. Rhyme. We get to cast Alliance playing 7.0 now. I don't know if you got to catch any of their other games, but they're notoriously known as the team that always seems to find the bugs. So I'm excited. Are you excited to see Alliance versus Elements Pro Gaming?
Yeah, I want to see it. I think Alliance have had a lot of time to kind of... They played a lot of games on this patch, I think, already, more than most teams. And I kind of want to see what they've got, because I think they were using some typical stuff like Luna or related strats and things like that, but I want to see what they kind of come up with.
Alright.
They're very strong in the early stages of patches, I think.
They still have a team of like very high caliber players, but you know, it's just that you have high caliber players now in a game that they're not as familiar with as they used to being, but that's where the best players usually shine, you know, the ones that can adapt and move on. Some of the best players that we know, even in this tournament, have been playing the game since it was Dota 1, and they've had to already go through so many changes as it is. It's all about being able to adapt and advance, and we're going to see which teams are going to be able to do that. We'll cut to a small break. When we return, well, I said small break, but I will have to double check with the admins on this one because this was a 2-0 shutout best of 3. I believe our next match is not scheduled till 40 minutes from now.
Yeah, that's about right.
But they may be starting early, so do stick around. Elements vs. Alliance is going to be coming up next. I'll find out if it's going to be happening in 40 minutes time or if it will be happening sooner, and I will give you the update here and on my Twitter. You can catch my Twitter at CuddleGuy and catch Rhyme over on his Twitter at RhymeDota. We'll see you soon for our lower bracket final, Alliance vs. Elements Pro Gaming.
winning bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans.
Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match.
Daily quest for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Just a heads up, everybody. I wanted to let you know, if you were hanging around and waiting to see some Alliance versus Elements Pro Gaming, that this series will start in about a half hour's time. I don't know what that is CET, but that is noon Pacific. It's 11:33 right now, so you get about 27 minutes or so. Factor in that 2-minute delay, and we will have Alliance versus Elements Pro Gaming in our lower bracket final. Myself, Coddle Guy, and Rhyme will be bringing you the coverage, so we'll see you then for more Dota action.
survivor. We need some action if we want We really, really like the
Alright everybody, just a heads up, we currently do have 10 out of 10 players in the lobby. Elements Pro Gaming versus Alliance here. We have our coin flip underway. Alliance won the flip, they choose Radiant. And that means that Elements are going to take first pick. So Alliance used their coin toss to pick Radiant side. Elements will take first pick. We're getting the ready call from both teams, and we should be starting up in just a moment.
gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans.
Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match.
Daily quest for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
We are loading into the game right now, people. Don't worry. We're loading into the game. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Dota Pit Season 5 League. We are in the European qualifier. This is actually the last qualifier of qualifiers. I mean, this tournament has had, like, what, 2 different European qualifiers. I think there was an American one, a China one, a C one. Anyways, we have all of the teams slated with the exception of this one last remaining European team. I'll give you a quick look at the standings of this qualifier and how it's ran so far. And as you can see, we are there at the lower bracket final. It's Alliance versus Elements Pro Gaming. Alliance were knocked down yesterday into the lower bracket by OG. OG are currently in the finals, waiting for the winner of this series. And then, of course, the winner of that best of 5 tomorrow will be going to Croatia split Croatia to be exact to compete with all the other participating teams. The other participating teams currently are Wings, Digital Chaos, Team Secret, Virtus Pro, Team Faceless, Invictus Gaming, and Evil Geniuses. We're just waiting for the one last European qualifier spot, and we're going to have one big stacked Croatia LAN party. I'm Cottle Guy, joined by Rhyme. Rhyme, are you jealous? Is your dream to just make it to a sweet, like, big Croatia LAN sleepover party? Yep.
I've always wanted to go, but that's a pit lord.
That's a pit lord, man. He made it
He's
through.
there.
He made it through the bans, and Elements managed to creep it in. Alliance decided that A, we got to ban Darkseer because he crashes games, so we don't want to deal with that. And then B, we got to get rid of Ogre. I don't know. Teams still find Ogre just as scary as the last patch. Do you think he's just as bad as the last patch? He's still big. He's still an enforcer. He still has bloodlust. Is that really all you need to be good as an Ogre?
I mean, he is a fight hero. You
Yeah.
run around and fight things with him, and everyone wants to fight in this patch. So he kind of he's one of the oh, that's a second pick slug.
Alliances.
I think like Jug Batrider is one of the like few openings that you could justify second pick slug into, because he's gonna do well versus an offlane Batrider. He's difficult to kill with Omni. Like you can't really focus him very much. Yeah, he's pretty good against those heroes.
10 seconds.
I'm just
Now it
excited
remains
to
to be
see if Elements have like an Underlord player. Like if it's going to be Mitch, let's say. I mean, do you play him in the off lane? Is that what you do? And has he played it before? What are we going to see? I haven't seen much Pit Lord play, to be honest with you, since like Dota 1. Even when he was released, people just didn't even really bother with him, at least at my level. So where do you put Underlord? What do you want? We talked a bit about his new root adjustment, which sounds wonderful and all, but what do you want out of an Underlord right now?
Just a hero that can't necessarily be focused and basically makes any hard carry kind of much weaker. He gives you map control, Dark Rift. Atrophy Aura is absolutely absurd. 40% bonus, like base damage reduction, is quite silly. His laning is very, very good if he has another hero to make sure he doesn't get like bursted down. Yogg is pretty good against him because Blade Fury, obviously you don't have to right click, so he's good at killing him on the offlane. And Underlord's itemization is quite nice. He's one of those heroes that really does enjoy just building up as much tankiness as possible, goes to Guardian Greaves, goes into Pipe and all this stuff. So he just is in the fight and he will immobilize everything.
He's just like walking utility, pretty much, for the team, I guess. So I'm excited. I'm hoping to see some big plays with his Dark Rift, the portal, if you will. Most of the cases I see it as someone using it as like a get out of jail free card just to get away from death, but I wouldn't mind seeing some backdoor plays or side lane pushes or quick initiations with big team fight. Anything to kind of pull out a bit of a crowd pleasing here. But moving forward into the bans, getting rid of the Timbersaw here in the second phase. Alliance rid of the Oracle, which, as we know, is still a pretty damn good counter to have against the Batrider there. Ursa also going to be taken out of the equation, another good man fighter against the Jug. But we'll have to see what alliance they're going to be kind of moving on into here. Got to remember, this isn't our alliance of old, if you will. This isn't an S4 Batrider, and you can't just fall back on a, good old lone druid or Nature's Prophet from Mr. Bulldog here. Alliance have been finding their groove with their new roster, and now they gotta, continue to find that groove with a new patch on top of it. So we're still kind of waiting to see if this is going to be like a tier 1 alliance kind of a team, or if it's an alliance team that's still trying to, find their way.
Disruptor, reasonable pick. Yeah, they're just kind of seeing how things go. It could be mid Batrider, but it might be because you just want to get farm quite quickly and not get shut down too much by Slark. I remember playing against Limp Batrider actually. I think I was playing SF and I died 14 times.
Oh.
It wasn't a good game. He had quite a lot of fun though, so that was nice.
Turn to pick.
My team wasn't happy with me for that.
So Limp's pretty good at that
Visage.
mid lane, is what you're getting at.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it. He's just he's a good Batrider player. They've got 2 good Batrider players, or maybe more, but you don't really see Loader, EGM, or Hanskin really give it a go. But
go into Visage though, because Visage has received what looks like a lot of love in this recent patch. I remember after seeing the changes, couldn't help but go check in with a certain Lil of Virtus Pro to see if he had any thoughts on the hero. He only kind of emitted a bit of frustration when other people were playing it and not knowing what to do, but I don't know how much he likes. I mean, they might be not just deciding to reveal that bit of information and just trying to see if they can nurse it big, but when I look over the changes here, a lot of changes to Gravekeeper's Cloak. Familiars have been adjusted a bit. Remember, they're no longer going by like number of damaged ticks or number of times they're hit. Now they actually are back to having life again. I don't know if Rhyme, you've had the chance to look over Visage and his new adjustments and what kind of impact he's going to be making in 7.0 now.
I think he's they're no longer spelling, but like they're just seems quite a bit stronger. Wait, familiar attack damage for charge time reduced from 15 to 2. I don't even know what that. Okay, so they're just they just seem stronger. You seem to be able to fight a lot more often. You don't necessarily have to split push. You can actually just keep going from fight to fight. Their damage per charge got rescaled, so he's just a bit stronger overall when he hits level 11 or 12 now. That's really strange. Level 12, second point penalty. Alliance taking...
Yeah, right? And, you only play a game for like 10 years and learn it one way as far as when ultis come into play, 6, 11, and, 16, but... Nope, the frog says we're breaking that.
Is the picking thing messed up for you, the pick order? It's pointing towards Alliance, but it's actually Elements pick, because Alliance just picked Enchantress.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's messed up.
I also wish we could see the talents in this screen. I don't know. I mean, if they pick Underlord, I could see all of his skills, but I can't see what his talent tree
you know, if you
like.
go into a Captain's Mode game right now, and you're actually like drafting, all you see on the interface is the picking thing, and you can't tab out, you can't go to the main menu, you can't do any of that stuff. You're just imprisoned in this
I noticed that
game.
because when the patch first came out, I was like, I want to know what the new draft screen will look like. So I had to like quickly get on 3 accounts, make like a private lobby, and then also hop in as an obs. And I noticed that when it didn't work the first couple of times, I'm like, wait, how the hell do I get out of this lobby and start over again? I had like force quit. I had to like control delete.
Yeah, I had to do that. Yeah,
it was so ridiculous, but I was.
They'll fix it eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get around. Like I said, guys, there's a list. I'm sure there is a serious whiteboard list. I mean, Valve eventually has to go, okay, this is as good as we're going to get the patch with our in-house beta testers. Everyone here says, let's roll it out. Might not be at its final form yet, but it's time to release it to the masses so that they will see everything that we have not been able to see. Or let them be totally vocal, I suppose, on what they need to have in their game, what is part of their Dota game, what the pros need to have. And it's made a lot of adjustments. It's still got a ways to go, at least in my opinion. But it's just part of the game. We'll just hope that we get our continued luck of no crashing.
Reserve time.
Their Rhyme.
Right, so Alliance are going to ban out now. They're probably going to ban a mid-tier that they're worried about. It depends really what their concept, because Elements, like, they pick quite a large variety of mid-tiers, like Paul plays Invoke, he plays OD. In fact, those are the 2 main ones I'd say he plays. Arc Warden.
They're like, well, they picked Underlord. I don't even want them to pick the other guy. A hero that used to be considered probably the brokest in the game. I know he's been adjusted quite a bit to be able to make it into Captain's Mode, but there's only so many.
Used to be insane.
Yeah, there's so many Arc Warden specialists already out there that I don't. It's hard to tell right now who's.
5 seconds remaining.
The only pro player I know is like Lil, probably who played the hero, but that was even the old one. So I don't know. Maybe just Alliance getting rid of uncertainty, I guess.
Which means they're not too worried about the normal, stereotypical, I go mid kind of heroes. So Elements tend to ban, even though the thing points to Alliance, which means I'd probably. It looks like a decent game for something like Invoker just to kind of push down towers, but Invoker's not the same anymore. He's not so good at pushing now because you don't get the forward spirits until level 15. So. Yeah.
Do you think that is enough to kind of just take Invoker out of Tier 1?
Dire team pick.
I don't know. He's still really good in pubs. He still does what he used to do. But I think he's not so reliable anymore. I think he will still get picked. Like, he gets last picked and last banned quite a lot already. So I think he's still very viable. But I'm not necessarily in this game for either team.
Back to Elements now as we look for their potential mid lane grab, and it looks like it's going to be a puck. Puck pickup here. And now you get more teamfight control, something to lock things down under the power of the Visage Burrs, under the power of the Crystal Maiden ulti, Underlord. Lots of lockdown here, actually. Lots of good team fight. Elements,
Lion's gonna pick that.
yeah.
What do you pick into that? Like, what kind of core does well? High. You don't want something with extremely high Shadow Fiend, maybe? I don't
What
know.
about
Does well versus
TA?
Puck.
Radiant side TA, though? I mean, I guess, I don't know if Radiant...
TA against Stark
matters.
Underlord, I wouldn't go for it. Too much slow, too much just interfering stuff.
10 seconds remaining.
Wouldn't go Storm either because of the Puck.
5 seconds
I'd go
remaining.
What about OD? Is he still...
for Weaver. Alright.
Of course.
Okay, mid-jug. Mid-jug safely on Weaver, okay. Yeah, that's alright. No, that works. So, get
Oh, yeah.
decent farm on the Weaver and then run around with Enchantress and use Omniflash as a threat to any supports that want to stop you from pushing. Seems good.
We also got that preparation time. I think that's what's happening right now, right? Is it? I don't know. When does the prep
I don't know
time
if you-
kick in?
You don't get that in Captain's Mode.
Oh,
you
you
only get it
don't?
in pubs. You only get it in all-pick pubs, I think.
Oh.
Prepare for battle.
Interesting. All right. Well,
Nice, so early smoke.
and they go right for a TP on the side of Alliance here. Hanskin's going right for this prime ward spot, it looks like, just to the right side of the Roche pit. And down and below we see Gogi here, already getting a pretty damn deep ward. This is a nice little ward to have. Pretty much scouts all sides of that first rune on Alliance's front. So both offlaners will be getting a little bit of extra side vision here. Hanskin on the Enchantress, it would appear. I'm just trying to still double check what these lanes are potentially going to be here from Alliance's side. So it looks like it could be a... Is that going to be a solo bottom bat here from Alliance? Are they going to go aggro setup?
Yeah, it's going to be Ench
30
playing with
seconds to
these
battle.
two hard camps. The one on the lane and the one in her own little section of the jungle here. So she can like half jungle, half come to the lane, and whenever the lane pushes back, like they don't have to share XP, she can go farm. And then when the lane starts pushing forward, she can very easily rotate around and then threaten the CM and Visage, neither of whom are particularly strong against Enchantress creeps. I think they'll do pretty well. This is a really good laning setup from Alliance. Like they should,
The
as far as I'm concerned, I think
begins.
Batrider should do very, very well against a hero like Pitlord, which is why they're already rotating around. So they want to put the Stark up against the Batrider, and they want to put the Pitlord up against
Dang.
the heroes that hit really hard.
So because of this aggro setup, it's the first time I've seen one team get both of the runes. Mitch heads up there now, quickly realizes that Alliance are all up here to party, and now he's going to get trapped inside. A good kinetic field will be the level 1 call. Locks him in for a little bit. He gets off some of the root, but it doesn't lock him enough. Loda's going to be able to pick up the last hit, and it is Alliance who strike first and get first blood.
Yep. Not a good way to start off your Pitlord safe lane. He's going to have a really hard time, I think. It's going to be pushing in, so he should get this wave now because he shouldn't get zoned out from this. So one full wave of XP gets into level 2 pretty safely, provided it doesn't get denied. So he just needs to really survive here. Maybe get to level 4 or 5, and then he becomes harder and harder to deal with. He just needs to not get dived, really. But as long as Enchantress is pressuring him, Enchantress isn't really doing anything to his Puck, and Puck does fairly well against Drug 1v1 because you can just constantly spam it with orbs. Like, you're not going to kill him, he's not going to kill you, but as long as Enchantress isn't there, Puck should do fine.
Yeah, well, at least that
But he's
should
kind of,
be the case.
he's in no man's land now, he's probably going to get spun here.
Yeah, Cole with a deep aggressive dive with that orb.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mistake, I think.
He won't be able to get back in, but that's when the Blade Fury comes out, and he's just going to be forced to orb up and over, and away from the presence of Limp here. Down and below, Gogi, who had been neutral farming a little bit on the Crystal Maid to get to level 2, invests that point into his aura, and now we'll cross paths with Bat. Bat was trying to go for what looked like the pull, a single pull, but Gogi's going to be there to try to shut him down a bit. Can he still make it in
Mitch.
time?
Oh no.
Oh, at the same moment, though, top lane, Mitch is going to get jumped. And all that's left is a Venn diagram of what was once his body, it looks like, so. Double takedown the Underlord already.
Yeah, he's having a really, really bad start. Like, he can't go back there. Like, he will never get any farm in this lane now. The Weaver is going to threaten to dive him every single time now. By the time he gets back, the Weaver's already probably going to be level 4 now with the Blightstone. I don't want to be too negative, but this is not how they wanted things to go. he's not gonna have farm, so he needs to wait until his team can actually make plays with like the CM and Visage and stuff. But those two heroes aren't really good for like the early like rotations. They're good for like Visage is very good when you have a very strong lane. He gets to pull quite freely, and the CM is very good for taking advantage of the jungle. But they're not really the greatest roaming combination. But they will kill the Bat Rider here most likely.
Yeah, they get a good frostbite, and with the pounce on top of it, it's a lot of lockdown, and they have enough firepower to be able to get the finish. Elements will be able to get themselves on the board now as they take down the Bat Rider in the bottom lane. So, good nod their way, and for Jonas, he's just going to have to second-guess his deep commitments in this bottom lane and just kind of continue to keep tabs on where these supports are going to be showing themselves.
Alright, so this Hans gonna probably want to take the boots and the smoke off the courier. He doesn't have... Okay, now he's got the... so he's got a decent ganking creep, but chances of him killing Puck are quite low, so he might go for another dive onto the Underlord. But he might just decide to farm for a bit, because honestly, he doesn't really need to do that much. This Underlord is not going to be farming very well for quite a long time. He doesn't... He's kind of happy with the state of his lanes so far. You can last hits mid is almost dead even, and the Slark is slightly out farming the Weaver, but the fact that the Underlord has fed 2 kills kind of evens that out.
Bottom lane here, they're still trying to surround Jonas. This time Gogi with his level 3 tries to use that slow. Uh-oh, suddenly this tower hurts way too much, and she just gets blasted in the face with all that damage. And a very unfortunate aggressive die there from Elements. Now a TP rotation out because top lane is where the action breaks. Glimpse to send them all the way back into the bottom lane. Now Mitch at his lonesome amongst the tower rubble. He will be surrounded, and with the creeps coming out, there's just a bit too much. Good heads-up glimpse play sends LeBron back to the bottom lane too.
Wait up.
Oh, slow on Gogi. And then a Thunder Strike, but he's able to get the Frostbite off, and that's going to be good enough to get Loda down, but she will still get dropped, of course. With the Thunder Strike and the right click coming out from Hanskin here. There's the root, there's the nuke, but Hanskin's able to still creep his way through the trees. While this happens, back and below, they're also getting a jump on the Jonas. They nuke him down, one more right click, they got it. Pick up right there from LeBron, but bloodshed from all across the map. Things settle into a 5-3 advantage for Alliance. Rhyme, are you still there, brother? Rhyme is not there at the moment, it looks like. I was actually going to take this moment to see if I could bump down his level just a bit. But, hello, are you there? I see you now.
Alright.
You're back.
I slightly changed my audio levels and I had to make a bit of an error change thing, so... Oh! Game's getting run out.
Top lane! Disruptor, a bit too far from home here, will be taken down, it looks like. Hanskin sweeps in, is already making chase here, looking to get Mitch down one more time. Long shockwave nuke, is not going to be able to get the connection. But now Gogi roams on forward. He's got the dust to be able to detect Loda, and he's not going to be able to Sakuchi himself out of trouble this time. Elements on the run back now, managed to tie things up with a couple of picks now. Really getting into the action. They make a presence in the bottom lane, bullying back the Bat Rider a bit, but they do not hesitate to rotate across the map and recognize where Alliance are getting a strong advantage in that aggressive off lane.
Yeah, I think it's just they're using the Puck to fight quite a lot, and he's losing out as a result. Like, the Jog is level 7 with 40 CS and Puck sitting on 23, halfway to level 7, so there is a price to be paid for being able to make that rotation. So the question is it worth it because now they get farm on the Underlord now, where before he was doing rather poorly.
Jonas gets tackled under the tower. He's pounced and chased down by Swift Ending. Loda's looking to make him pay for it. It looks like he will. Sakuchi's right on through him. And you take one of ours, we'll take one of yours. And back to 6-6 we go.
So it's pretty even right now. The Visage and CM are doing okay on levels. Then we'll take the bounty rune and we'll farm this Puck.
Bottom tower is under attack.
So, all looking at the net worth, is scores are relatively even, but the Underlord's doing quite a bit better than the Bat Rider now because he's not really had a good time. Bat Rider's just been constantly dived by the Slark, and Slark was like creep skipping, so the Bat Rider couldn't really take the XP at the tower. So his life has just been made very, very, very difficult.
Rotation, though, a heavy rotation here from Elements as Jonas has put himself to the top lane to try to bulk up a bit. He is quickly surrounded by 4 of Elements' team, and there is no chance for him whatsoever to be able to make it out. Jonas is going to get dropped. The Bat Rider continues to have to string together what farm he can. The dreams of a Blink Dagger are going to be left off in the New Horizon, I suppose. And we'll see where Elements look to pick it up from here, as they also recognize Loda hanging in the bottom lane now. They nuke him up quite a bit, but he will back on off.
Yeah, this Weaver, basically, they need to make sure that he's able to pressure a hero at least, because a Weaver just kind of farming in this game isn't really going to do that much, because Weaver, he's going to struggle in mid-game against Slark and the Puck. He needs to get quite a lot done and be kind of threatening at this point. Because he did quite well early with the Enchantress shutting down the Underlord, but now he's got his mana boots and he can farm a bit more securely. This Weaver doesn't really have a place. He just needs to kind of farm up to his next tier of items, which right now is probably going to be a Dragon Lance, as you can see in his quick buy.
That quick buy sure is nice. It kind of ends the whole question on what are you going to think they're going to get next. Bottom lane, deep dive for Disruptor. He goes down. Elements still blasting on all cylinders here in the early game, similar to the trend we saw in their matchup against ATN in the previous series. Looking to kind of maybe fluster Alliance a bit. I mean, I don't know if that's what they're going for here, but putting a lot of emphasis on trying to secure dominance in the laning phase.
Yeah, they're just trying to get a lot of kills out, and it's working in that they're getting quite a lot of XP on their supports. Like, they have a CM which has got more XP than an Enchantress, they've got a Visage which is considerably more farmed than the opposing Disruptor. So it's just a question of, like, can they take these advanced levels on their supports and the more farm they have on their offlaner and actually turn this into something, because they still probably have to wait for Puck's Blink before they can be really hyperactive. And it's just a question of, can the Jug and the Weaver, who are quite farmed, do enough? They're taking the mid tower now, and they probably want to turn their attention towards top because that's on half HP.
Yeah, EGM's heading up that way right now, as they wait around possibly for the rune nearby. Swift ending could get spotted. Thunderstrike, there's a glimpse waiting if necessary, but he does go into Shadow Dance, goes for the TP, and makes it away. Sorry, Flame Break still will not cancel a teleport, and the Slark will be able to make it out without too much trouble. Gank avoided, and Alliance now put their initiative towards this top lane, maybe to break this tier 1 eventually, because we have Hanskin on deck. He's got a couple of creeps to work with, and looks like they're going to be moving on in. Already on the scene here is Cole, and he does have a coil in his pocket ready to go here. We'll see if Elements look to converge or split the difference. Seems possibly to be the latter, as most of them have gathered towards this bottom lane to maybe make their own pressure on tier 1.
Right. Loda he's just kind of living down here for a bit. He can farm relatively safely until Puck gets dagger, and as soon as he realizes that, he'll play a lot more safely. But he's gonna get ran at a bit by Gogi.
They got the root. There's the nuke slow. They put the frostbite on top of it. Yeah, there's no chance. He's got no way to wiggle out, and he's just gonna get dropped. That leads a tier 1 takedown for them. Alliance trying to get one themselves, pushing up towards this top lane. Cole is in the lane, but he's a Puck. And they're not going to be able to stop him, but they will glimpse the Sackstorm.
Well,
yes, they will. They can do that, but here comes some TPs. It's going to be the Underlord bringing in the posse, and now comes Elements. They are able to bring down the Puck first, but they will at least get the response onto Jonas and his Bat Rider. Nearby Hanskin goes for the teleport, should be able to make it out. And it's a 1-for-1 trade. Elements not able to get that bottom tier 1 finish, though. So it still stands. Loda can clear these out and then deny it if he so chooses. But he does not choose.
I'm just kind of worried that, like, Jug is just kind of farming, so he's just trying to get to the point where he can get Manta. He's got level 2 Omni slash... No, he doesn't. No, he's not level 12. Ooh, I keep by that. So, at some point, Jug will be able to start taking these fights, but for right now, he's content just to farm. And Puck died when he was right about to get Blink Dagger, so that kind of set him back a bit, but now with this wave coming into the tower, and probably the next one, he'll have that to work with.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Loda may have to watch out a bit more.
It's just about that time where we get to check to make sure everyone actually leveled up those talents, but before that, we have a lasso play here. A grab onto the Underlord as they pull him back in. Flame Break, bump back, Omni Slash on top of it, and they're going to make it 2 with that. Nice takedown. by Limp, but now Limp finds himself in a little bit of a pickle. There's the coil, but he Blade Fury's out from trouble, and that's when Loda sneaks himself in. He's looking to get the grab here on for Puck. Cole, though, is going to get glimpsed all the way back in. And can he make his way out from this one? It looks like he'll be fine.
Yeah, without dropping the ulti, they have no way of killing him.
Yeah.
Even if they do drop the ulti, you can... I don't think you can... I don't know if you can orb out of the... drop your ulti. There's weird interactions where you can like blink out of it even if it's on top of you.
Yeah, it's something about like if that first tick happens to hit before you can get something off at least. The Puck might be different, but tower is acquired here from Alliance. That bottom tier one here for Elements is still standing. They didn't deny it, and they're going to look to move on forward and be able to pick it up here. Loda's nearby, but now he's going to get spotted. There he gets rooted down, nuked. Familiars stun him. The roots continue. He's going to be forced to pull out the ulti. And time lets himself back in. But here comes Hanskin rushing on in, looking to go for Visage. He tries to juke him back, but they're just a bit too fast, and they run him down. Hanskin's going to pick that one up, secures a killing spree, and then they think about making a move for Mitch, but Mitch does double back a bit. Now Cole gets his own jump, looking to go for EGM. Commits in with the static, but not going to get the catch for the Puck. Coil going to be dropped, and they'll get a trade of ults apiece. EGM does eventually go down to Gogi, it looks like. And now Elements can move on forward. Did they eventually get that tower, or was it denied?
It was denied by Loda.
It was denied. Nice takeaway there from Alliance. But now Elements are just kind of sweeping through the jungle front here, looking to get anyone they can. And Gogi just ran between two cores and gets quickly sliced apart. The rest of Elements second-guessing about committing in for a fight. Cole says, maybe we'll do it. Jumps in, they're still rooted. Swift Ending pounces on forward, but that's where they miss their marks. And he up to pull on back. But there we go. Lasso now onto the Visage. I don't know why they're deciding to go in one at a time, but finally after the fourth one jumps in, they will finally get that guy down.
Yeah, the supports just keep running in.
Yeah.
He's getting chopped by Jug, and he's more than happy to chop them.
I mean, I understand Gogi going in first. He's like, I'll run up early, I'll get a ward down. But then Gogi dies, and it's like at that point, then you should be, okay, we're fighting or we're not. But they still continue to dance around, and then Visage was just the last one of all. He pays the price. But they're still hanging around. Maybe something Alliance doesn't suspect as EGM makes his return, but Swift Ending will not get the connection. Can they glimpse him back? Do they want to glimpse him back? EGM says they do. Brings him right back in, but it's only just to kind of poke at him a bit, it looks like here. Without the ulti to lock him down, kill potential is not going to be as easy.
A golden thread.
Yeah, Alliance's game plan feels like they're just kind of playing this mid game, and then Jug's net worth is going to ascend into the heavens, and then they're going to fight around him. But he's yet to kind of reach that stage. When he reaches Manta, he doesn't have to worry about the pit lord so much and the Puck, then he can start playing more aggressive. But
Coil on for Jonas.
Taking the free kills.
He's trying to fly himself out from trouble, and he'll be good. That's a Coil down. And Alliance don't have to even sack a life for it. EGM's got that Stack Storm ready to go. Pops down the sentry. Gogi drops one of his own, and they'll take it out. Alright, but Elements are here to play. It looks like they're here to get the tier 1. EGM's the closest defender right now, but yeah, does not want to get quickly swarmed here. Could see another situation where they try to make a push happen and then fall back on that Dark Rift from Underlord to kind of quickly transport the team elsewhere.
Dire's top tower.
Mitch is running in.
Here they go. They're running in. They're going to get the root right on top with the nuke, with the Puck Bomb flying forward. EGM will get taken care of, and they'll continue to rush on back and be able to take out the Enchantress. Hanskin's going to get dropped on that one on the other side. Limp under the pressure of Gogi and his freezing field. Lopes to go for the Omni Slash. At the end of it, though, they will be able to get the finish, and Alliance quickly lose 4. Only the Bat Riders have survived. Elements take a monster fight now. Jonas,
Middle tower is
the lone survivor, and barely at that. Elements take a huge sweep there, take a tier 1, and a little over a 2k gold swing.
Yeah, it's just so easy for the Weaver and Jug to die at this point. Like, Jug got caught without spin inside CMLT, and he's forced to Omni just defensively. And then Puck's just kind of sitting there just waiting for him. So it's just very hard for any individual hero of Alliance to survive the damage coming out from Elements, so they need to have a better kind of way of taking these fights. They need to get people caught in the Disruptor ult, they need to get early pickoffs, they need to stop the Puck from getting his spells off. But currently that's not quite working out. And as Slug gets richer and richer, then it's going to get harder and harder to kill him. And there isn't that much stuff to kill the Slark at this point. Like, the only thing they really have to rely on is Disruptor ulti, because
Yeah.
they're not going to catch him with a lasso. So, knowing that, it makes it much easier for the rest of Elements to really kind of just run rampant.
Loda flirts him at the mid lane a bit. Don't mean to step
Okay.
out from the game, but do you have less frames now? I don't know. We saw an update, but I feel like I've lost some frame.
Yeah, my
action here.
frames have dropped by a third.
Oh, AGM drops down a Stag Storm, but they quickly blow him up, and Disruptor's taken out.
Oh, Swift
So-
Ending's giving Limp a hug top lane. Oh, nice.
Ooh, Limp though will be able to Blade Fury and TP out. The rest of Elements though still hanging on this mid lane. They're here for a push-in, and they're not looking to pull off yet. And
Loda's going to cut this wave top though.
Under
He wants
attack.
to stop the Slark kind of pushing the lane and just guarantee himself some farm. Slark, of course, about to finish off his Echo Saber. About to buy that up.
This'll come in.
I mean,
Quite
is that pretty
curious
much the game plan here? I mean, you kind of look at the lineup of Alliance, and you'd say that, you know, they have a build-up. They need time. Elements, though, it seems like they're not looking to allow any time. I don't know if it's just kind of full steam ahead and keep pushing on forward, or if that's just how they like to play the game. But either way, it's kind of working a bit here against Alliance right now. Do you want to see them continue to kind of ramp up the tempo a bit, or do they need to eventually just kind of have a little bit of me time to farm up?
I think Alliance have done enough. Their laning phase went poorly enough compared to what they wanted it to, that there's just so much farm on the die supports. Like, this Visage is going for an Ags. He's got his point booster. He's about to get his second level Familiars. The Pit Lord has recovered quite well from his early start. He's got his Greaves now. I think with the Echo Saber on Slark now, like, there's just so much stuff that it's very difficult for Alliance to fight into them. And I think they wanted to be able to push down a lot more towers with Jug and this Weaver. Especially with the Enchantress, like, she didn't really manage to get that much done apart from, like, dominate the top lane.
Yeah, I'm trying to find her groove right now. Throwing the Ogre Club into her backpack. Don't you want to utilize that extra bit of stats? Come on. Maybe not looking to give away too much of a clue as far as what she's trying to build up. Whatever the case may be, Hanskin continuing to push things through and towards this top lane. Dragonlance, obviously, as there's two bands of Elskin I see there in the stash. But while that happens, you know, eventually you're going to have to get all hands on deck. As Elements are going back in, they're looking to go for tier 2s, which eventually lead to those shrines, and could lead to a situation where Alliance are just trapped inside their own base, suffocating, without much answer in this game. This tier 2 not set for this world quickly taken apart. Already Elements have some nice clustered deep vision, so they're looking to control the majority of this map. Back and behind, Jonas gets caught out. Cole moves in, gets him with a coil, tickles him with a Dagon, and then there's the finish coming in. Batrider going to be brought down another peg in this one. Let's look it over. He does have his Blink Dagger now, but
Dire's middle tower is under
ultimately
attack.
will pay the price.
Yeah, it's just really difficult for any single hero of Alliance to do much in this fight. Like, the Jug, he needs more items. Like, with a Manta, sure, you can survive, but you can't deal damage to the puck without Disruptor ult being there. You can't really kill the Slark because he's got a
Dire's
Shadow
top
Blade and he's got a
tower
lot of
is under
health
attack.
and his ulti, so I'm just trying to find a way for Alliance to take fights, because Mitch has become, like, indestructible now. He's achieved Guardian Greaves, he's got to every Pit Lord Scream, so, and both of these cores on Alliance are quite affected by that.
Oh, swing and a miss. Swift Ending gets so excited when he sees that delicious morsel on EGM. He just happens to pounce right up over his head. Gets the send back. It's on Underlord, which will leave Swift Ending still there and able to kind of clean up his treat.
Oh, Cole's looking, he's got Arcane Rune, runs to Hanskin.
Quickly bursts down the birdie, and we'll head on back. Elements, though, feeling really in control right now, man.
Yeah, if you look at EGM, he's the most poor disruptor to have ever walked this earth. And CM's sitting at 2k above him, so CM's not looking that great, but getting closer to a Glimmer Cape now, so just the ports, they're doing a tiny bit better, but in terms of the Underlord, like, he's doing much better than the Batrider, and the Slark is lording over all right now. Getting closer and closer to his BKB.
And at that point, it's probably full steam ahead here for Elements
Radiant's
as they
top
charge in
tower
now
is
through
under
this top
attack.
lane. A very low tier 2, and then you've just got the mid one to take down. Loda shows up now. The rest of Alliance back and behind, but Really, their team fight potential has been stunted quite a bit.
Dire's
Certainly
bottom
pales
tower
in
is under
comparison to what
attack.
Elements have brought in. They're looking to adventure out and just try to get some wards down, but as they do so, they pay the price. EGM going to get quickly taken apart. Jonas even caught up onto the high ground right now, juggling with Cole. Will be taken apart on the other side. Lip looking to break out a return fire as he gets the Omni off. Will get the finish. It's only on Crystal Maiden, though, while they converge in, looking to go for Loda.
Is under attack.
He's able to make it back out the other side. Alliance will lose 3 to the 1 Crystal Maiden of Elements. That does not stop them from advancing
Dire's
in this
bottom
top lane.
tower is under attack.
Well, I like that he's got Loda going for a
Radiant's
Dessa
top
right now, so
tower
he's
has fallen.
decided that BKB won't do anything. He just needs to hit hard and hit
Dire's
hard now.
bottom tower is
So
under attack.
they just really do lack a lot of damage. Limp is going to go for a dagger so he can kind of choose his targets a bit more carefully, because otherwise he's just going to have to run in and hope the right Omni target kind of presents themselves.
Man,
He has arrived on Slark, or it will hit very shortly.
Curry on route, of course, with that precious. Oh no, Curry's going back. What's happening? No, bring it back. There we go. Swift Ending's like, don't even think about it. I need it. Brings it back in. Yeah, I definitely have like lost frames since that update or something. Or I don't know. Maybe Dota's just got too many creeps now, too many tricks. Everybody needs supercomputers to be able to spectate the game. It looks like.
Yeah, I was sitting on like 130 to 140, like just when playing normally now, and I've been getting like 80, 90 now, so it's gone down by a third. So that's pretty considerable. Like, given that nothing's changed about EPG, it's just the update is quite demanding.
Yeah, when I go to a side lane and I'm just watching Cole, it looks pretty good, for example. But yeah, I don't know. That's Dota for now, I guess, until things are going to be
Radiant's bottom
sharpened up,
tower is
I'll
under
say.
attack.
Inside the Roshan pit, though, Roshan Claws taken down as Loda's going to quickly snag up the Aegis here, right under the nose of Elements, who do not seem to be the wiser on this one. So this will extend the life bit of Alliance, but what are they looking to really achieve with this Aegis? They actually smoke right up, and they're looking to turn it right back around on Elements now. There's the jump in, the lasso pullback, but Swift Ending's able to shrug that one off, BKB up, and just go back to town. Don't even think about it, Alliance. They quickly stump down 2. Loda, though, deep into the mix, trying to go for Mitch. Going to be forced to time-lapse now, and he is a man on the run, but the chase is on. Orban right on through him. They're going to be able to burst down that Aegis. They just picked that Aegis up, man. And now Loda will lose his life. 3 go down all day from Alliance. That was them trying to go on the offensive. It felt like it looked good, but Swift Ending just shut them down the second they tried to make an opening happen.
Yeah, he was just killing the Wild Wing, and then he just popped Stark back to kill it a little bit sooner, and it's just like, oh,
Radiant's
I've
middle
stopped the
tower
lasso
is under
from a
attack.
four-man smoke. It's like,
No
oh,
big
that's
deal.
nice. Yeah, sometimes that just happens.
I
and
just
you
shut down
win
a
the
whole
fight.
gank, a whole opportunity for a
Radiant's
team to
middle
come back
tower
into this
has
game,
fallen.
all by randomly farming a bird. Good for Swift Ending.
And the Axe has come, so that's actually the main building damaging tool, I think, for Dota, which is quite nice. So,
Wait, for Visage?
yeah, for Visage, he's got his Axe up now, so he is the building destroyer supreme.
Man. I'm also curious to see his level 25. I want to see some speedy race car familiar action here.
Oh, yeah,
How for these
that's-
other ones?
You've got the spell amp, you've got I think you go for the cast range over the damage, because you're not Visage is pretty well. Actually, that was that time when Arteezy played like carry Visage, I remember that.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
possible.
Take that.
A lot of them just make him got one a bit richer, a bit hits a bit harder, then survives a bit longer, and then you've got the race car familiars, which I think is one of the better ones. Yeah, in terms of like talents, you've got Slarks. I think has the most boring of all heroes. I think they're all just stat kind of things, apart from Pounce,
Yeah.
and even then, that's just like, you know, that's just kind of all right.
I noticed Keeper of the Light was like that. Most of the supports get like super cool level 25 talents, but Keeper of the Light and Earth Spirit, the heroes I like to play, they got kind of boring talents, but yeah, what can you do?
Well, some heroes that like changes the weight of their talents. Like CM, her Ags is pretty cool. It applies like the current level of Frostbite to everybody.
Yeah.
So
if they're
if you
under
don't have
it for
BKB, it's like the most punishing spell in the game.
that is so good. I mean, imagine like because you have to be under her ulti for a period of time before the frostbite will be able to kick in. But you got an Underlord on your team. He's just gonna pin a Malice them all in their place. Pin a Malice plus freezing field.
They just love Underlord. Like he's just got talents. He just takes 4 armor, 200 health, buys Guardian Greaves and a Crimson Guard, and just decides I'm going to be tanky. I'm not going to die. All he needs to do is just keep the aura up, and then it's about to hit max rank when he hits 16. So good luck to anyone trying to kill him or anyone near him, because that doesn't seem it's gonna fly.
Is that the road we're going down? A lot of first bans on Underlord in our future.
Yeah, he just makes playing carry very, very difficult. Like any lineup which revolves around just bursting people down with physical damage is just not really.
Oh, hello, Loda. Swift Ending just casually shows up, hops on his back, and cuts his head off. No big deal. All right. I mean,
Jonas is just sitting in the trees like, I can't do anything to save you, friend. Cuts the creep wave and just
they'll be able to torch it down and then quickly TPs away. But this is just Alliance with their side lane split pushing tactics to try to just extend their life in this game and try to build themselves into a position where maybe they can come back.
This'll come in handy.
Well, it's getting to the point where like Jug has this he's got this really awkward period where he's not really that good of a fighting hero, but he's reaching the point now.
Alright, it's 3 versus 1. How mighty and tanky is this Underlord? He withstands a Static Storm and an Omni Slash. And then he tried to go for the TP, but it was a bit too late.
I think if he just pressed that as soon as the glimpse went, he would have lived, but yeah.
Oh well.
Oh, no Silver Edge made.
That's ulti's down though. As they make their jump forward to the top lane, they'll easily take out the Bat Rider. And that was one of the ultis that was still up. Loda, okay.
Oh no.
Diving in deep. And suddenly appears back inside his fountain. While Limp though, Blade Fearing outside the front door here. Gotta be careful. Don't want to go too far from home. Gets Dagon. Silence. They need a bit more. They'll be able to frostbite him, but they can't follow it up. Ah, Swift Ending says, I'll get it done. Jumps right in, pops his BKB, and he's looking to go for the closure here. Steps back and will get Loda down. Loda does have a buyback. Does he need to use it already to stay alive? They might. They just zapped apart and took down Handskin, and that's when Loda makes the call for the buyback. There is going to be a glimpse from EGM to pull him back inside the base, but he's happy to pounce on out. Now, Elements have not been able to do any sort of base sieging work here, but my god, they're taking names. Another kill takedown onto EGM. Loda farms down a familiar as a response, but man, Elements are going to
Elements seem like one of the lineups that you just never want to take any kind of extended fight in, like ever. Because Pitlord keeps everyone up the whole time. They've got like really low cooldown nukes and AoE damage. You've got Puck who can silence you at any point. Slark is obviously, well, he kind of steals lots of stats and stuff, and he's hard to focus. And I think Alliance, their entire lineup is built around catching people out, getting very quick pickoffs, and like taking fights around towers you're already pushing. And they're in no real state to try and take these fights where they're defending tier 3s. Because all of their damage, like, their Jug has to go, well, Manta, which is pretty normal, but you have to go a very, very quick BKB, so you can try and fight against the Puck, for example. And you also have to, and I think mainly so he doesn't actually get completely paralyzed by the Pit Lord. Set of Malice is rather mean. This is pretty tough, really.
Yeah, they got some tools to help deal with it, but for, okay, then stuff like this happens. Swift Ending just casually approaches, you know, Alliance's, one of Alliance's go-to hopes that in their highest net worth, and he's just taken care of, just like that by Swift Ending. Not looking so good for game number 1 for Alliance. Can Elements close this one out? They quickly shred down EGM and happily dive inside the base. Loda looking to pop off what shots he can here on the Swift Ending, but Swift Ending is the one doing all the work as he wipes out another 3 down from Alliance, and then Loda could be set to fall, trying to rush and make it back and away. Him and Hanskin, the only survivors, but it's already done. I didn't even see the GG call. Did I miss that?
Yep. Jonas just called it.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, that game just suddenly ended. It was over, but not really surprising at the end of the day. Elements just went from 0 to 100 so fast. What would you say was like the big tipping point, if you will, on when the game felt kind of back and forth, but then Elements just suddenly owned?
Honestly, I think it was like early enough that it was when Loda used ulti on bot lane, and then they saw that his ulti wasn't cooldown, and they killed him, and then they took the tower. And it was at that point where The Slark basically could farm wherever he wanted, they couldn't stop the Visage or the CM from getting stuff, and the Underlord was given a lot of space. And I think as if the Underlord started getting farm, then it was going to be very, very difficult for Alliance to really push anything. And I think if your cores are Jug and Weaver, then I think you really need to start taking towers, because against Slark and Puck, like, when Slark gets a lot of farm, those two heroes just don't do very much against them. And their core matchups are quite bad, so they need to do stuff early and to take towers. Do that.
Well, we'll see if Alliance head back to the drawing board and maybe scrap together a different kind of lineup, a different kind of 7.0 lineup, or if they're going to reach out elsewhere to feel what's comfortable. But one thing is for sure, Elements came to play, or at least they're already warmed up after their previous series against ATN. Now suddenly it's match point. With one more win, Elements will move on into the finals to play OG. Alliance need a win in game number 2 to just stay alive in this lower bracket final. I'm Coddle Guy, that's Rhyme. We'll see you soon for game number 2 of Alliance versus Elements Pro Gaming in the Dota Pit Season 5 European Qualifier.
Gaming Bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO?
Guess the number of rounds in a certain match.
Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.